Double. I'm going to double up on you. That was a request. We do requests here on Ben and Woods. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to the program on a Monday morning. Let's get our heads right. My head's pretty right. I'll tell you that right now. Feeling great. Feeling great. Great to be back here with my boys, Paulie Reindl, the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Paulie had a busy weekend. Want to get into that a little bit. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, was at the game on Friday. Like to get into that a little bit and find out how everyone's weekend went. I mean, obviously on the field, you couldn't really ask for more than what we got. A great series here at home in
One
San
bad
Diego.
pitch.
One stinking bad pitch, man. One hanger. And it got banged. And we will talk about all of that, man. But what a great job by the fellas. Go out and take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers and send those people back to their shanties yesterday. Oh, my Lord, with that scene downtown on Saturday. We can certainly talk about that as well. Don't really get it myself. I don't. I understand we're not special. They do it in other places. But, man, for a team with so much parade envy and, like...
Back to your shanties.
Weird S-talk that they have. It is odd to me that they have banners and whistles and marching and things like that. It's odd.
So, good morning, everybody. I didn't. You're going to have to explain this to me. I saw one video. I have no idea what was going on. I've never heard of this before. You're saying this. So the Dodgers. This was Saturday night.
Yeah,
fans.
they have a group called Pantone.
Panettone. I think
Pro
it's
V.
Pantene Pro V
Panettone. It's like
$2.94.
that weird bread that you buy. I think
Panettone. Pantene.
Or it's a Toblerone.
Toblerone $2.94.
$2.94.
That's it. And they go to games, but when they can't just get a bus together and just go to a game, like normal people do. They have really they do a thing where they march to the stadium. All right, and
See, the Mets fans have done it. The Astros fans have done it.
Yeah, and
Phillies fans have done it.
And Toblerone 294 has done it in other spots. And they've been to like Boston or New York. They plan their thing and they go. All right.
Do they get permits, or
how does this work?
You can't just
march.
randomly march through streets.
It feels like a lot of work to get your ass handed to you 2 out of 3. For me, that's the risk that you run.
I mean, who in San Diego, who in the city office issued permits for Dodgers fans to march through the streets? I don't see that happening in San Diego.
It's just weird.
Fifth Avenue's closed off. You can't.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Oh, okay. So they went on the pedestrian closed off part of the street. Not.
I assume
they didn't block off traffic to do this. I don't know.
I got a message that said Dodgers fans are marching down Fifth Avenue. I assumed that's the gas lamp where you can't drive.
So when I got the hate mail sent to me, it all had that Pantene 294 on it. Hashtag Pantone 294. So that's the group that I guess went down and did their marching. But listen, I'm never going to judge a fan base for having fans that are like passionate fans. That's inherently a cool thing, right? Like a group of fans. But, it's the whole thing where they get mad at us when we celebrate literally anything. That's the irony of to me about all of it is, oh, look at them. They had a little parade for a wild card. No, you just got a bunch of drunken San Diego spilling out of Petco Park happy. That's what you got that night. Meanwhile, you have a marching band and banners, and you're like marching down the street. Like, okay, so why is it okay that you do it? It's not okay that we do it. That's the weirdest. The weirdest part for me is the massive hypocrisy. I'm not even making fun of the fans.
I'm not mad. They love their team.
Correct.
Obviously,
it's the irony of it all. Do you guys know what irony means? That's what I'm talking about. And so the whole celebrate like you won the World Series. You're having a parade.
I mean,
You're in a parade right now. Like,
it's aggressive to do it in other cities. If you do it to your own ballpark, and if you go support your team in other cities, there's Padres fans
that travel like a
who have been
madman.
traveling great, but I don't see them necessarily rubbing it in other cities' faces. Marching with their Prel 294 or Pert 294 or whatever it is down the streets of other cities. That's aggressively in the face of other teams' fan bases. You're kind of asking for, a little bit of trouble, I think, when you do that.
Listen, trouble schmubble. what you're asking for is people to mock you on their radio show on Monday morning, and that's exactly what you're going to get today. So again, I think that it's cool that you support your team and like your team, but that whole thing, let's just let everybody support and love their team. How about that? Like when Padres fans get drunk at a wild card game and spill out in the streets and have a good time, let's not lose our minds about them celebrating that. Does that make sense? That's really where I'm coming from on the whole thing. I think it's a little bit cringy, but that's not. I wouldn't do it for my team. Hey, Woodsy, can you get a thing organized? We're going to march down by Dodger Stadium. You know what my response is? No, absolutely not. I have no interest. All right, well, fine. Let's do it in let's do it down Disney Way.
Even the most diehard fan bases, and the Padres are getting close to that level. I mean, Boston Red Sox fans are not going to march through the streets of New York to Yankee Stadium for a game.
I'm sure they've done stuff
Really?
like that. I'm sure.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's been groups. I mean, listen, what I don't want is you don't need a big fight about it, right? It is aggressive. It's walking down the street in droves, beating your chest and whatever. The best part, though, whether you do it, believe in it, think it's dorky, whatever. Best part is you got your ass kicked twice. And that's the best part of it for me, was that you came in here, you dropped thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of your hard-earned cash to a nice influx of cash to this market. And then you had to drive your happy ass back to L.A., and, you're going to tune in to your local radio station this morning and be talking Lakers. So a lot of you are in here, I'm sure. I got a couple buddies. It's not all Dodger fans. A lot of them I think are great and they're funny and they get it. But holy smokes, the sensitivity when they get beat by the Padres honestly, it feeds my soul. And I do think I've been against paying for Twitter. I really should. Man, I do numbers of Dodgers Padres weekend. I mean, it's crazy. I could be making some extra cash off of this. So I had a fun time. I always do, making fun of them and their parades and all that. But it was great, man. The baseball itself was spectacular. It was spectacular weekend. Other than the baseball, Paulie, which I know we were all tuned into. Paulie got to, you saw the friggin' Northern Lights.
I was so jealous. I didn't even know that was going to be a thing. And then I start seeing my Twitter feed with pictures from Maine and then South Carolina and then North Dakota. And then all of a sudden I see Paulie where'd you go? Lake Henshaw. And you're seeing
he was in Iceland.
The Aurora Borealis in San
Paulie was in
Diego.
Reykjavik.
Why did no one tell me we were getting the Aurora Borealis in San Diego?
So I did not know about this until middle of the game Friday night. We're at home watching it. And
how do we have a radio show in this town, a big platform, and we didn't know, and nor did we tell anybody this was going down?
Had no idea whatsoever.
I'm not even going to blame us. I'm going to blame one of the tier ones for not telling us.
I think I had seen some pictures of the Northern Lights on Instagram or something. And I'm like, oh, cool. My friend.
It's not a scheduled thing. It's not like a meteor shower, though. It's a bit unpredictable.
It feels like a lot of people knew it was coming. It feels like it.
Yeah, I guess. And so my wife was she told me about it, and she was saying, I just don't think we're going to be able to see him here. It's supposed to be the northern part of the United States. All your friends in Washington will probably get a good view. There's too much cloud cover in Southern California. If anything, maybe Northern California would see them. And we're like, dang, so close yet so far. And then after the game on Friday night, epic walk-off. I was pretty amped up. I was not ready to go to bed. I was like, let's get in the car. Let's just go for a drive.
Yeah, see if we can find them.
If there's a 1% chance of seeing Aurora Borealis in San Diego County,
rad.
I'm down to take that chance.
No, I mean, way better than Eclipse, right?
Oh,
yes.
Infinitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
I went out, I looked at that eclipse for 2 seconds. I went, all right, great. And I got back in the car. Oh, cool. It's all dusty and foggy out here, it looks like. This is actually really creepy. That looked really special.
It was cool. So it was tough to see anything with the naked eye. It was all through camera lenses.
Okay. You couldn't really see it with the naked eye.
There was a point later in the night, the further east we went, the darker it got, we're like, okay, I think I can kind of see it. But once you set up your camera you had to set the settings to long exposure.
Sure.
All of a sudden, we were like, okay, I can definitely see something. Let's keep driving. And then we pulled off in Lake Henshaw, and it was spectacular. It was one of the coolest things I had ever seen, dude. It was awesome.
So Saturday comes around, and we do Mother's Day weekend. We get Father's Day, Mother's Day weekend in our home. That's the split. So we we go to the pool. We get like a little cabana, and we go to the pool, and we spend the day at the pool together, me and Hannah and the boys. And we have a great time, just a phenomenal time. But you're out there in the sun, and you are roasting, and you're baked by the time you're done. And I mean, you're just, I just need to be at home, smothered in cream, just relaxing. So we get home. Kids are zombies. I mean, they've been on the water slides, the whole thing at La Costa. They're just zooming the slides all day. They're beat. My wife goes to me, let's eat dinner. Let's get them bathed and put them in their PJs. Let's put them to bed, and then let's wake them up at about 8:30, and we can drive out to the East County and look at the Aurora Borealis. So I looked at her. I go, sounds good. Yeah, I'm in. And she goes, really? I go, yeah, 100%. The game ends. She's splayed out across the bed. Splayed. And I mean, one leg out. Everyone is gassed. We're just sunburned.
You played that well.
I did.
You played that well. You agreed.
I just look at it, I go, that sounds really good.
The odds of actually having to do this are very low.
Let's do that. I'm all in. Where do I sign up? I'll load the car right now. I'll put some snacks in there. I'll get fresh water. I'll put a couple blankets in there. I can't wait for this family excursion. She's out like a light, and I'm like, lost the game, but she was just dead to the world. So then yesterday, went to the mother-in-law's, went swimming, had brunch, the whole thing. It was great, man. It was a really fun weekend, and I was in a bit of the chamber. We can talk about the chamber I was in. But it actually turned out to be good. I did something I had not done in a long, long time. I listen to Jesse and Tony as much as I can. I haven't listened to an entire baseball game, every single pitch, in decades. And I did that yesterday. And the differences in it, I want to talk about some of the differences in listening and watching. Yeah.
Adam has entered the chat.
Adam has entered the chat. So they did such a good job. Such a good job. They had me in my car with red ears fired up at one point. And you know what point, when Tatis wore one.
I was listening at that point as well. Jesse was all over
their
that.
reactions, both of them.
Jesse was all over
and so was Tony. It was really cool. So, man, great series. Let's talk about everything that went down this weekend. We can pick it apart. There were a couple negatives in there, certainly, but you take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers, you're feeling pretty good on a Monday morning.
Absolutely.
Actually, you take 2 or 3 from anybody, you're feeling pretty good on a Monday morning.
Especially the Dodgers, though. All right, we'll set the menu when we come back. Get right into some Padres talk after a big weekend. Thank you for joining us. Hope everyone had a good Mother's Day out there. All the moms and everyone else had a really good weekend as well. We'll check traffic with Kelly and then be right back with more Bennett Woods on a Monday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I feel the need to do it every time it's on.
You're going to be jealous. I feel like I made out like a bandit on Mother's Day yesterday.
As most fathers do.
Not usually, but so we had planned to go out to brunch, and then on Saturday, Shell decided, I don't really want to go out and fight all the people out there and go out. I would like to cook brunch. And I was going, really? You want to cook brunch? And she said, yes, I would like. There's this French toast recipe I've been wanting to make, creme brulee French toast.
What a score.
So
you sat on your ass.
Well, I did all the shopping, and then I did all the cleaning and dishes and everything, and just let her cook. But I ended up with a phenomenal brunch. Didn't have to go anywhere. It was absolutely fantastic. Just chilled, watched the game before I went to work. It was a really nice Mother's Day Sunday for yours truly.
Well, happy Mother's Day to you, Benjamin.
Got a big giant vase full of tulips, and that's it was easy, but it was good. And then we were all together as a family, which happens very rarely. The boys were there. We were all eating our brunch together. It was very nice.
That is nice. That is nice. We did not. We went to a brunch, which was nice. It was fine. But then went to the mother-in-law has such a nice spread. We went swimming and. The kids played baseball, and it was a great day. I've been in the sun more this weekend than I think I've been in months.
I saw the video of your new pitching machine.
Yeah, little Taylor Woods, 3 years old. Did you see this video on Instagram?
I missed this one.
The kid is like a BP machine.
He was throwing strikes.
Puts him right in.
Boom, boom, boom. Bo's diving inside. I mean, it was a really special moment for me because he's coming around too. He's got a little skill as well, so it'd be fun.
All right, here's what's coming up on the program today. Obviously, we are going to go through the entire weekend of games, starting with yesterday's 4-0 win to wrap up the series in our 6:35 Padres Wrap-Up segment. We also just pulled that audio you referred to when Fernando Tatis Jr. took one in the back. It was the fourth inning when the Padres made it 3-0. Walker Buehler had just come out. Pitching change, and that's when Tatis got it, and some spiciness from Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr. So we'll play that audio for you as well. Discuss the win, the amazing run the Padres starting pitching has been on the last 4 days. Anytime they bring up a stat and go, yeah, we haven't seen this in Major League Baseball since at least 1893, you know you're doing something fairly well.
Here it is right here. MLB Network just mentioned that it's the first time since 1893 that 4 straight starters in the same rotation have gone at least 5 innings and only allowed 2 or fewer hits in consecutive games. 1893. You think about the great rotations in baseball in its history. I mean, the Atlanta Braves, the San Diego Padres have had a good rotation, and the LA Dodgers have had a good rotation at times. That's staggering. That is a once in a lifetime, maybe twice in a lifetime run. Here by our starting pitchers. They've been phenomenal.
But two hitters or fewer are very rare.
Very rare.
To put 4 of them together, even though you didn't win all 4, you went 3-1 in those 4, is pretty incredible. So we'll talk about the pitching performances of the weekend as we go through our 7:35 segments. At 7:10, we've got a brand new Las Vegas getaway to start here in the month of May for Take on Wood. So an opportunity to qualify for the getaway to Las Vegas, and we'll tell you about the concert that goes along with that coming up in our 7 o'clock hour. Don't do this at 7:20 as always. In the second half of the program, Sammy Levitt will join us. He was in the middle of all of it this weekend at the Loft at the Western Metal Supply Company hosting Padres pre- and post-game shows. He will be with us at 8:35. Got some Reindl Report at 9 o'clock. Mostly, though, I think it's Padres Dodgers talk. We even have some tickets to give away probably later in the show. Keep listening for your chance to win tickets for tomorrow's game against the Rockies. It's the Joe Musgrove bobblehead game, and we had the example. Oh, I still have it here. The Joe Musgrove bobblehead, definitely one of the most detailed and cool bobbleheads that I have ever seen before. With Joe, his cup of coffee, his dog Theo, his bucket hat, his basketball jersey, his tattoo on his arm that's just got all kinds of details with Joe Musgrove. So if you don't have tickets for that already, we're going to be giving away a pair coming up later in the program today as well.
Yeah, man. Tomorrow's going to be a good one. I think Hannah's going with her mom. I'll have the boys. We'll be watching at home. But, man, and listen, the Rockies coming in, one of the hottest teams in baseball right now because even our easy games are hard this year. That's what's going to be the theme of the San Diego Padres. We're going to have to scratch and claw for every dub. And,
there's no
so
easy
far, so
games.
good. Yeah,
there's no easy games in baseball. Even though, the White Sox nearly pulled off a 4-game sweep of the Guardians, who have been one of the best teams in baseball, you can get bitten by anybody at any time. Yes, should the Padres take care of business the next 3 days? Absolutely. And while the Rockies just swept the Rangers and have played decently at home, they're almost 500 at home, including their split with the Padres, their 4-game split a few series ago. They're 3-16 on the road.
Sure.
You're getting them at Petco Park. You do have to take advantage of some of these opportunities.
What are we at home?
Still three games under 500, even after
it's the
series win.
The immovable object, Ben, right now. So, yeah, something's going to have to give, and we will talk about that as well.
10 and 13 at home.
But I saw an interesting stat yesterday as well. The Padres have the best record in the National League against teams with winning records. It's only a couple of games above 500, but that shows you how hard it is to do. Even the Braves and the Dodgers are just a game above 500 against teams with winning records. Padres are 2 games above 500. Problem is they're a game under 500 against all the other teams that are at 500 or below. So they haven't taken advantage against teams like the Rockies and the Blue Jays and the Cardinals, but they've played more than quality baseball against the teams with the winning records in the National League. So
one of those things, man, one of those weird things about baseball sometimes. And that's, I think, generally over a long stretch, that's something that you want. You want to be able to beat those good teams. And I'll tell you, I know it's only a few games against the Dodgers this year, but it does certainly feel better to watch this team play the LA Dodgers now with all the money that they spent, and to play them really tough and to not look really scared of them at all by any stretch. And we've watched enough Padres-Dodgers series. When those games happen, you go, here we are. Here we go again, man. We're just going to get pushed around by these guys. The tables have turned a little bit. And I'm not saying that it's going to mean anything at all, but certainly it's a better watch. Like feeling that you're in the game against these guys and watching them go out and actually win some of these ball games is pretty special.
One of the crazy things is here we are on May 13th, Monday the 13th, which is the only thing scarier than a Friday the 13th.
Monday the 13th.
Padres only have 5 games left against the Dodgers this season. That's it.
6-3,
in the next 4.5 months.
Yeah.
They have 5 games left. They are 5-3.
5-3
against the Dodgers. They have 5 games left. So if they win 2 of the last 5, they will win the season series against the Dodgers for the first time since 2010.
And I can hear a Dodger fan right now going, hang the banner. Like, bro, seriously, if you look at the history between these two teams the last decade, it's been terrible. Terrible. So you take those wins when you can get them. But they certainly are playing a lot better against that team from L.A. No question about it, man.
I don't think they don't see him for quite some time now.
Yeah, July, I think, is the next one.
It's at least a couple of months. So that's where it stands. 5 wins, 3 losses against the Los Angeles Dodgers. We all would have signed up for that instantly. We would have signed up for 4-4. Yeah, we probably would have signed up for 3-5 against the Dodgers, honestly, at this point, given the comparative salaries and expectations for these teams.
Our week is over. We wanted 3-3. What did we get?
4-2.
4-2. Much better. Much better.
Yeah, Padres have 2 home games at the end of July against the Dodgers, and then they don't play until the second to last series of the season, September 24th through the 26th.
Dodgers will be in full-on cruise mode by that point. Yeah. They will be in full-on cruise mode.
Or maybe the two teams will be battling for the NL West title.
You spend $1 billion. Of course.
Bro, if the Padres hang in there, man, September is going to be intense, because you're looking at September. You got the Giants twice, division series, and then you have the Astros, who are terrible right now, at least.
They won't be.
The White Sox at home.
Somehow they'll be better also. Well, they were this week.
And then you wrap up the season with a road trip against the Dodgers, who, like you just said, will probably be getting ready for postseason mode.
Paulie, they spent $1 billion. How could they not? They win 100 games every year. Come on, bud. Come on. It's a 114-win team projected.
All right, that's far into the future. Let's return to the present. When we come back, our Padres wrap-up. We'll talk about Yu Darvish's latest dominating performance yesterday, the quick start for the Padres in the first inning against Walker Buehler, and the spiciness from Jesse and Tony. We've got that call as
Is it extra sweet because it's against the Dodgers?
Yes.
That's coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I'm excited to get into all the games this weekend, including Friday night's game, which I was at and may have been one of the most entertaining baseball games I've ever attended. Really spectacular.
What a game to pick to go to. It's phenomenal, dude.
I'm glad you said that because I was, I get fearful of like just being too in the moment and recency bias and all that. But I was thinking about it yesterday. I go, Friday night's game.
Elite.
One of the best games I've watched in years. Elite pitching from both sides. I love a pitcher's duel.
I was a GD nervous wreck on Friday, snapping at everyone in my house. Everyone. Just like, I'm begging you to leave me. I needed baseball coffin that night. In the coffin with a little TV. That's what I needed. It had
everything you could want in a baseball game.
We'll get to that coming up, but let's do the traditional thing. We'll start in reverse order.
While we're on Friday's game, I want to tease because we'll get to probably 7:30 is my guess. We've got all the calls from the walk-off.
Yes.
The radio, the television, the Spanish call, the Korean call.
Can't beat it, man.
Legendary. I have not heard. I've heard only the radio and Don's call, so I can't wait to hear the other ones.
Outstanding.
All right, that's all coming up, but we'll start with our Padres wrap-up of yesterday's 4-0 win over the Dodgers. We'll do that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the Fish Market, serving the freshest catches from waters near, far, and everywhere in between. Got a solo vehicle accident southbound 5 at the 805 split. That right lane is blocked. Looks like a light pole may have gotten knocked down in that collision. So just watch out for a little confusion there. That's southbound 5 at the 805 split. And still clearing an accident on the transition ramp westbound 8 at the 805. That is over the right shoulder. Fresh, wild Alaskan halibut season is in full swing. Enjoy it perfectly grilled at the Fish Market. And then grab an extra piece to cook yourself from the market on your way out. The Fish Market with locations downtown and Del Mar. The Fish Market serving and offering only the freshest catches. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Yeah! Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
2-0 from Buehler. The pitch. Tatis swings, sends it in the air, deep center field. Baez is back at the wall, looking up, gonna go! Long home run, well beyond the 396 marker to the right of straightaway center field, and a Mother's Day blast for Tatis. His 8th home run of the year, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. 1-1 hit in the air towards that same spot, deep into right center, and this one's gone. Cronenworth. Oh, now they're going to say in play.
No way. That's a homer.
Throws coming to third. They're going to tag him out. And for the moment, Jake is out. But it certainly looked like it was over the fence. But the second base umpire, Mike Estabrook, gave the safe sign. The center fielder, Pages, threw it back in. And then they got it to Muncy, who tagged Cronenworth out while he was in his trot.
After review, the call's been overturned. The home run.
Here's the 3-2. Arise hits it on the ground. One hop to Freeman at first. Down to second one. Betts' turn is not in time. Yarborough covering at first base. And Arise able to beat it out. So an RBI fielder's choice. And the Padre lead is now 3-0. Here's the 2-2. Xander swings. Hits it in the air to deep left center field. Hernandez back to watch. It's gonna go. There you go. Xander Bogart snaps an 0 for 17 with a long home run to left center field. And the Padres add on, it's 4-0. 0-2 to Andy Pages. Everybody on their feet, and the pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. Darvish finishes strong, back-to-back Ks to end the 7th. And for the second time this year, Darvish gets through 7 innings. 8th pitch of the at-bat, he's yet to throw him the changeup. The 3-2 is taken, and strike 3 called. Rung him up to end the inning. Here's another 2-2, and a swing and a miss. The Padres have shut out the Dodgers for the first time since 2018. They win a 4th consecutive series by taking 2 out of 3 from LA. Darvish 7 shutout frames. Pods hit back-to-back homers in the bottom of the first inning, and that's all they needed as they beat the Dodgers 4-0 here this afternoon.
Yeah, I just think it creates clarity of we play our game, we play the way we're supposed to play, and we compete and execute regardless of opponent. I mean, clearly it's a good club over there. We're not going to minimize that, but every team we're going to face is a quality ball club. They're big leaguers, so we got to go out and play the game right. And, you know, when you do that, you throw strikes and you make the routine plays. We played good defense overall for the whole series, ran the bases smart and aggressive, and, you know, like I said, pitched really well, and, you know, we're able to shake hands. That's the recipe.
Dodgers came into the series as the most potent offense in all of baseball. They leave San Diego still as the most potent offense in all of baseball, but they did not really display it outside of one swing over the weekend. Yu Darvish, fantastic. He extended his scoreless inning streak to 18 consecutive innings yesterday with 7 shutout, 2 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. 17 of those come since his trip to the injured list. He's gone 5 shutout, 5 shutouts, 7 shutout since he spent the 15 days on the injured list with the neck strain, the neck stiffness, and he's come out like a different pitcher since returning from the IL. Looked a little shaky in the first couple of weeks, of the season. A good start, some, not great starts, but he has been locked in his last 3 appearances.
It's so impressive. It's so impressive what he was able to do, again, to that lineup yesterday. And I know that Shohei was out, but listen, I mean, it's not like we didn't rest guys as well. I had said last week, Benny, I looked at the pitching probables, and I thought to myself, there's 2 winnable games in there. James Paxton is beatable. Not yet. And Walker Buehler's beatable. He's going to be on a pitch count. Get to him early. You've got some guys with success against Walker Buehler. I thought you could win those games. The Glasnow game, I did not think we could win. And thought to myself, all right, if you get bodied by Glasnow, you're not going to be the first. Go out, find a way to beat James Paxton, whose peripheral numbers are horrific. Horrific. He literally might be the luckiest pitcher in baseball, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And he was great. He threw really well. We'll talk about that game too. But yesterday I thought, all right, man, Yu Darvish, if he comes out and is just kind of vintage Yu Darvish, pounding the zone, he's going to get some swing and miss. He was spectacular, Ben. And they couldn't get, all I heard yesterday on the broadcast is weak fly ball to right field, weak fly ball to right field. It was a bunch of ass out swings. It was a bunch of weak contact. And that's exactly what we needed from you yesterday. And, of course, the offense gets on the board early, punches them in the mouth early, and goes, all right, if you're going to win this game, you're going to have to come from behind.
Yeah, you mentioned guys who've had success against Walker Buehler. Fernando Tatis Jr. certainly fits in that category. It was his 4th home run of his career against Buehler, I think.
25 at bats.
And he's hit like 325 against Buehler. And most of that comes in the pre-Tommy John era when Walker Buehler had one of the lowest ERAs in the National League over a 5-year period. Yet Tatis has always had good success. That was an absolute missile. I mean, not just out to center is just good. I mean, you do that at Petco Park, you've hit it well. You went over the next level. I think 442 feet they said, and it was kind of a momentous home run because it also passed his dad for career home runs, more than Fernando Tatis Sr. Now, Sr. had a very long career, was not ever the kind of home run hitter that his son has been, and you expect Fernando Tatis Jr. will leave him long in the dust over the coming years, but it's got to be a nice moment to go past dad in your big league career.
He goes, I got to call my dad, let him know I'm the big dog now in the house, which I thought was great. But we had Mother's Day yesterday. My wife obviously is a huge Padres fan as well, but she wanted to relax by the pool. I said, no problem. So we didn't have the game, and I pay for Padres TV and everything. And if you can pay for it, I pay for it as far as a streaming service goes. You guys know that about me. Well, I tried to put the game on, and it was blacked out. So I panicked a little bit and tried again, and it was blacked out. So I just decided, all right, I have to hear this game today. So I listened to Tony and Jesse, and I listened to the entire game. I think every pitch, I cut out a couple times, but other than that, I listened to every single pitch of that game. First of all, those guys were incredible. I didn't feel like I missed anything at all. I have not listened to a baseball game in its entirety in many, many years. There was one moment. At one point, Bo got a little grouchy and wanted to go get some food. So we drove down to a little Harvest Ranch and grabbed a sandwich. We were listening to the game inside, outside, name it. We were eating our sandwich. Jesse and Tony got me all worked up. So Toddy gets drilled in the back. This is what got me so fired up and made me go, oh gosh.
So the situation was, it was the fourth inning.
Yep.
Padres had just knocked Buehler out of the game. Arias had just grounded a fielder's choice to make it 3-0. So there's 2 outs, runners on the corners, and the Dodgers had the lefty Yarborough in, who seemed like, and they said early in, there's a good chance he might work around Tatis to get to the lefty Cronenworth.
Sure.
And the first couple of pitches weren't even close. Tatis swung at the next one. The next pitch wasn't close, so it's a 3-1 count.
This is his second at-bat of the game?
There's an open base out on
He,
second.
hit a missile in his first at-bat?
Missile in his first
Okay,
at-bat.
I think that's all relative context.
It is, so this happened.
Here's the pitch on the way. Hit him square in the back. Wow. On 3-1, when he's probably working around him, that is a bad look. Second hit by pitch of the inning. Remember, Kim got it on the wrist. And Yarborough gets his lefty-lefty matchup, but we'll see what else he may have gotten his team later today.
It looked like a cutter, ends up catching Toddy lower back. There could be some ramifications for that one.
All right. So now when I'm watching a game, I'm more likely to get fired up, and I don't like when they buzz the tower and all that, and I understand that's how you have to pitch him sometimes.
Neither did the fans in attendance. You could hear the boos.
No doubt. And I guess Mike Schilt didn't either. Apparently he was jawing pretty good from the sideline. And but when Jesse Agler starts talking about repercussions, I went, oh, this is
Here's the pitch on the way. Hit him square in the back. Wow.
Not a good
on
look.
3-1, when he's probably working around him, that is a bad look.
That got me fired up. I'm in the car, and my hands start shaking. My ears get red. And Bo goes, ooh, did he hit him? I go, oh, yeah, he hit him. He goes, why would he do that? I go, well, this is what baseball players do sometimes, right? And so nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. Didn't buzz the tower, didn't do really anything after that. Now, Mike Schultz has said, now, they talked about later in the broadcast. Tony actually said, listen, sometimes, you don't get even right away. You wait, and you file it away. And I'm like, his file cabinet is awfully full at this point, I think, if you're Mike Schultz. The pocket full of IOUs, I think it's like spilling out the side of his pocket right now.
Well, when is the right time? Because what happened just last weekend in Arizona when we were up like 8-1 or whatever it was.
And nothing happened.
Bottom of the 8th, I think.
Right.
This game is in the bag. So you got the top of the 9th or the bottom of the 9th, whatever it was, and you still
nothing happened. So I did see a lot of people saying, listen, you gotta win that game. I agree. I do. You want to win that game, and you want to win that series, most importantly. I, as a fan, would be okay losing the battle to win the war. I really would, because it has been a decade of this. A decade, really. I mean, honestly, the last guy to do anything where I thought he's defending a teammate, I think, was Luis Perdomo. Really. I mean, that was a long time ago. Nolan Arenado was a Rocky at that point. That was a long time ago, man. And again,
good point.
Not calling for headhunting, anything like that. Just letting that kid, and that kid in particular, know. We are not going to tolerate this BS any effing more, especially in our house, especially after you hit a home run. If they end up losing that game 4-3, Ben, but, Mookie Betts wears one in the hip, fine. It is what it is. You got to know teams are so comfortable doing that to our team, and it's just been that way for a decade. I know you go the other way. I know you do.
I'm not opposed to you have to defend your own players at some point. To give up a win for it is an insane trade-off, though. You cannot trade a win over the Dodgers just to make a point.
I'm just saying.
And I will say that
it was a 4-0 lead.
It was a 3-0 lead, but after that in the 5th, the Dodgers had traffic. They had 2 guys on in the 5th. Betts had the double in the 6th. So, at what point do you say, oh, yeah, you got to hit someone? Yeah, I know that puts the tying run up or the tying run in the on-deck circle. Wasn't really a great chance for you to do it, maybe in his last inning, the 7th, but he's just trying to get through the 7th without, his pitch count is climbing to 100. You want to add another batter to the mix? I don't know. I mean, maybe Suarez in the 9th, but then Xander has the error. And do you want to risk losing the game in the 9th there and giving the Dodgers some hope after your pitching staff has really shut them down the whole game?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying this continuously happens here. And that mentality of, well, we can't risk it, that's the mentality that we have here. And that mentality I thought was going to change here, but it hasn't. It's still like, oh, don't worry. We wrote it down. We wrote it down. We got it. And maybe, what are you going to do? And just an all-out barrage down the road?
Do you think Yarborough was throwing
Four
a
guys in a
Tatis
row.
intentionally?
It doesn't matter what I think. You know who thought they did? Jesse Agler thought it. I'm an emotional lunatic. I get that. When Jesse Agler goes, that's not a good look. You're working around him, and then you decide to dot him instead.
Yeah, he's not a hard thrower. I do agree.
Still.
Even on a 3-1 pitch, if you know you're kind of walking him, miss outside. Put him outside. If you're going to be careful, don't go careful inside. Go careful outside against a player like that. I will say that. Now,
again, you also remember our shortstop is probably going to miss some time after.
X-rays were negative on the Ha-Seong Kim. He was hit by Bueller.
Yeah, Bueller hit him
before in that inning.
The second that happened, I was like, broken wrist. Ugh.
Oh, I know. You guys wonder why Tatis gets so dramatic sometimes on the pitch inside when he drops the bat and flails away. That's exactly why, because you can't.
I'd rather have him do that than get hit.
Anytime, especially on the hands and the wrists and everything else. So, I don't know, man.
But dude, a lot of people in the chat are using the quote. You hear it from Mud every once in a while. We got that pitch too. Well, where is it?
I'd love to see it. I just
once.
again, for Fernando's sake. For Fernando's sake, I'll be honest, when they put Estrada in, I go, perfect. This is perfect. That's how you do it. Nothing happened. So I say lose the battle to win the war. Hell yeah, I want that series. But I'll take my chances with a 4-run lead in the 8th inning. I'll take my chances to let my kid, my superstar, know I've got your back. Literally have your back in this case. So it just has happened so much over the last decade. It just gets old.
Maybe the biggest impact, though, yesterday, Xander Bogaerts hitting not just a home run, but hit another hard ball after that.
Yeah.
If he breaks out of his slump,
he gets going, dude, come on.
That could be the biggest thing, ending an 0-for-18 skid. All right, Padres win their first home series against the Dodgers since 2021. They did lose one, though. Talk about Saturday's game. We'll play a little Take on Woods when we come back here on 97.3 The Fan. Hour number 2 of Ben and Woods. I don't know if the Padres are going to bide their time until July for retaliation/revenge, but I'm enjoying the discussion as to which Dodger they should hit. Should it be Ohtani, the big star? Should it be Freeman, the veteran? Should it be Betts? Should it be Will Smith after what he said about Jurickson Profar being irrelevant? Should it be Max Muncy to improve his face?
That's what somebody said. Yeah. You don't want to hit anybody in the face.
There's a lot of debate onto which Dodger should get it.
All of them.
But again, if they're going to, it's going, as Paul said, they don't visit again until the end of July.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a while. Will it be forgotten?
Yes. That's my guess.
Possibly. We'll find out. Just want to remind everyone, we made the big announcement on Friday. If you did not see it, though, the third annual-ish Chrome Tour Ben & Woods Open is coming to Goat Hill Park in Oceanside on June 19th. We're going to be off all day with 2 18-hole shotgun starts, one at 8 a.m., one at 1 p.m. We'd love to see as many Tier 1s out there as possible for a fun day of food, drinks, prizes, games, golf, camaraderie, just everything fun. The first 2 excursions out to the Ben & Woods Opens have been fantastic, so we're hoping for another great one this year. So please, Paulie will put the link in the chat, I believe, and on our social media channels. Again, you can find them by going to all of our pages. It's there. It's up there somewhere if you want to sign up for the third annual-ish Chrome Tour Ben & Woods Open coming up June 19th at Goat Hill Park in Oceanside, my favorite place.
It's your
in San Diego.
home course. It's so fun. It's a great spot for a scramble. It's going to be a great day. We got so much cool stuff planned.
Right off the freeway, easy to get to.
Yeah, great prizes as well.
Yeah.
Auction prizes and things like that. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have good Padres tickets you can win out there. My buddy Ben, who runs our pitcher, Ben Bruff, he runs a limo service. He's going to drive you to and from the game is part of that prize as well, which is incredible. Callaway's come through with a bunch of stuff for you guys, too. It's really going to be a special day. Come out and play. It doesn't matter how good you are. It's a scramble. So Goat Hill's a challenging little spot, too, man. So it's going to be a fun time. We'll have some drinks together and enjoy each other's company.
All right, let's go back to Saturday night's game against the Dodgers before we play Take on Woods. I guess the highlight was the new attendance record, more than 46,000 fans that night at Petco Park. Of course, the expansion to Gallagher Square has allowed the Padres to get a few more people into big games, and that has been the biggest one so far. Matt Waldron, can't say anything really bad about Matt Waldron. You're very, went in with a lot of trepidation, knowing is the knuckleball going to work? Can he fool the Dodgers? 5 1/3 innings, just 2 hits. Did get charged with 2 earned runs. One was on the Freddie Freeman home run, which was
that was a good pitch.
It was a good pitch. It was a porch shot. If it's anyone but Freddie, it's probably not a home run.
No doubt.
Any other ballpark other than Petco, it's probably no more than a double. So a little unlucky there. And then the inherited runs allowed to score when Adrian Morejon came in and got one out, but walked the other 2 guys to load the bases, and then Enyel De Los Santos gave up the grand slam to Teoscar Hernandez that put that one out of reach. Padres offense, of course, never got going against James Paxton. That may have been the biggest surprise of the weekend. The one pitcher you thought, the lefty that had walked 8 the first time he faced the Padres this season, comes back, doesn't walk anybody. Padres just can't get anything going against James Paxton on Saturday night. 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, and the Dodgers get the 5-0 win for their only win of the weekend in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Chris Ello's stat last week that we just don't win when Matt Waldron pitches. I don't know what you can really ask. And it's a confluence of events. It's the fact that sometimes he doesn't pitch great, and that's going to happen. But then the offense just no-showed. I mean, no-showed. Could not get one single thing going off Paxton, which surprised the hell out of me.
It's, I think the updated stat now is 21-11 when anybody else pitches, and 1-10 when Waldron or Vasquez starts.
That's hard luck, man. That's a hard luck. His ERA is now back down to 5.49, which isn't great, but that being said, he was fantastic.
He's had enough
that
good
night.
starts
yes.
that the Padres should have won at least a few more games that he started.
He had that stat earlier. The Padres pitching staff did something that hasn't been done since the Revolutionary
He's
War.
part of it.
He's one of those guys.
He's
so
in
he
it,
pitched
man.
well.
He absolutely is in it, and I just that that back and forth, who's going to show up, who's going to grind out ABs. There was no grinding going on Saturday.
I think there is one legitimate concern coming out of this series, and we'll talk about it. First, I want to throw out the phone numbers for Take on Woods, though. Got a new trip to Las Vegas, 0 qualifiers so far. If you'd like to be the first, Take on Woods in our musical trivia challenge, 2 nights at the Westgate, and tickets to Rock Bliss, Warrant, Lita Ford, and Paralandra on June 22nd. Got a chance to win those coming up here in a couple of minutes. Give us a call, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Cherry Pie, right, is Warrant's big hit?
That is their biggest hit, but they have some great other songs. Blind Faith, I Saw Red, Down Boys. I mean, one of my favorite bands. Now, their lead singer tragically passed away years ago, but they got a new one, and they're carrying on. Their guitar player lives in Temecula, local flavor.
With AI, they can bring all the lead singers back now. Holograms, whatever.
I would go to that so fast it'd make your head spin. Also, Lita Ford's going to be there. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Who's going to win this thing? I want to throw one so somebody maybe gets a chance to go.
And then take
me with you.
So the one legit concern coming out of this weekend is the Padres' middle relief / setup bullpen. And the inconsistency from everyone other than really Robert Suarez.
We are searching. And I saw a lot of people clamoring for Adrian Morejon to get some high leverage. I, on the roundtable, said, based on his stuff, try him as a starting pitcher. And I know he hasn't been stretched out and all that, Benny. He's like a 3-inning max guy. Why not use a guy with that kind of stuff in a starting role? And then he comes out and does that. No, so I don't know that he's fit for the 6th, 7th, or 8th. I don't know that he's fit to be a starter. I don't know what he's fit for. Really needed him to hold that. And to be fair to him, I don't want to gloss over this. He threw strike 3 to Will Smith. It was not called. But that's going to happen. You got to flush it and move on.
But I think bigger than whether or not Adrian Morejon is going to come through is the inconsistency from Wandy Peralta, who did get the job done yesterday, but put a couple of runners on and, started to get nervous a guy
got on an error. Was that off Suarez?
That was off Suarez.
Okay.
Aniel De Los Santos is now giving up a home run every single time. Yeah. Didn't even have to come back in a second inning to do it this time. Those guys who are supposed to be your main setup guys have really been inconsistent / struggling lately. That is a true concern for the Padres going forward here.
Funniest thing is about 4 weeks ago, I said, look, we've moved beyond the need for a Stephen Kolek. If you let him go, you can find another Stephen Kolek, and he's actually been pretty good.
Is it time for Jeremiah Estrada to be getting more high-leverage chances? You can't necessarily go away from the proven guys, but bullpens are so unpredictable.
That bridge is going to give us all ulcers. The bridge from 6 to 8 is going to give us fits right now.
You could almost see Yu Darvish pitching yesterday going, I do not want to turn this game over.
I don't want to give this over.
My middle relief. I've got to get through 7 at least with a lead so we can get closer to Robert Suarez, the only guy that has really been trustworthy so far this season.
I do love how when somebody falters, it's obvious you need to get Estrada in. Last week, the Friday night, it's got to be Morejon. You got to throw Morejon in.
We need an 8-out save.
Robert Suarez. He is Robert Suarez, and he's making the rest of these guys look terrible. That's how good he is. He's so unflappable. Nothing gets to him. And but man, yeah, you're right. We got to find the roles that are right for these guys, and that is got to be Mike Schultz's toughest challenge tonight.
And just in the ultimate baseball irony, what's the one area that we thought A.J. Preller did a great job addressing in the offseason? Well, at least he's put together a good bullpen.
Yeah.
And that's been maybe the biggest concern now already. Now,
it's funny how that works.
There were some signs. Now, I know why he did it. He was trying to save some money. He was trying to reduce the payroll. But there's a reason why when Scott Barlow was traded for Aniel De Los Santos. Who was that? The Guardians trade? Is that where it was the Guardians, right? Why would the Guardians take on a more expensive player and give up a controllable reliever if they didn't think Barlow was quite a bit better than De Los Santos,
he doing
right?
This year?
I don't know how he's doing, but they obviously must have had some reservations about De Los Santos if they were going to give him up and take on money. It's not like the Guardians are the most free-spending organization. The Padres were trying to go on the cheap.
Scott Barlow's doing well.
They were trying to go on the cheap in the offseason. This was a smart move in that context that you get a good arm, but they gave him up for a cheaper arm to save some money. And right now it seems like it's biting them a little bit.
It's funny, man. It's like Enyel always seems to find himself in the middle the last week or so, right? When you can't look past the good that he's done as well. There was a time when he was very, very stable. How do we get back to that Enyel De Los Santos? Is it the position that you're using him in? Is it mechanical? I have no idea, but I haven't lost faith in him. I really haven't. I haven't really lost faith in anyone. The thing that
the Padres lost faith in Tom Musgrove. He was supposed to be a critical setup guy for them, and he was so bad that they had to send him down. It has not gone well outside of Suarez for the Padres bullpen.
No, and Michael he says you got to flush the terrible calls, but it's absolute crap. The bad calls cost you runs. Yeah, I mean he had him k'd up. He had Will Smith k'd up. It was a perfect pitch, bottom of the zone, called a ball. And we didn't
even bring up Matsui, who started the season well, and now he has been consistently struggling. So those are the three main setup guys.
Yeah, this is great, and this is what I wanted to remember here. Jeff said every reliever is going to go through stretches. They have the Luis Garcia syndrome. Enyel had one game with bases loaded. He struck out the side. He's got it in him. Most of these guys,
I think they all can
him.
Bounce back.
Yeah.
They can. They just can't all struggle at the same time, or you're going to lose a lot of games that you probably should win.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you're to the point now where you're going, Stephen Kolek should get the nod. This is just what we do, and this is just what fans do.
All right. We'll talk about Friday's game coming up a bit. Right now, though, let's play a little Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Chris, you are up, buddy. Good morning. Welcome to Take on Woods.
Good morning, fellas. How are we?
Well, we're pretty good. Hopefully you can be our first qualifier this month. Told you about the prize, thanks to the Westgate Las Vegas and their $70 million in room renovations for the 2 nights and the tickets to Warrant, Lita Ford, and Paralandra. Here are your categories this morning. Double Trouble, 5 bands with double words in their name. A View to a Killer, the key word in all those questions and answers. And our new category, it's called In a Word, the Beatles. And this is something new that I'm trying. It's one-word song titles, but you don't necessarily need to know all the songs. I've got kind of a trivia question that goes along with each one. So trying to open it up to a wider clientele and Take on Woods. So Double Trouble, A View to a Killer, or In a Word, the Beatles, Chris?
I am the biggest Beatles fan in the world.
That's
so
pretty good.
Go with In a Word.
All right. In a Word, the Beatles is our category. So trying something new today called In a Word. If it goes well, we're going to bring it back. The category focuses on, of course, Paulie's all-time favorite band, the Beatles. Your job is to identify some one-word song titles. One-word song titles from the group with questions that don't necessarily require any musical knowledge to answer, although if you are a Beatles fan, that will only help you out. Now, there's no 2-second song in this one, so your time will start when I just begin reading the first question. So, Chris, are you ready to play?
Let's go.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when I start reading. Good luck, Chris. Let's Take on Woods. Which Beatles song shares a name with the 24-hour period that ended a little more than 7 hours ago?
Mother Will Know.
Incorrect. Which Beatles song shares a name with a type of thrush known for its dark plumage?
Pass.
Which Beatles song shares a name with the act of overthrowing a sitting government or monarch?
Pass.
Which Beatles song shares a name with the First Lady of the United States from January 2009 to January 2017?
Melania? I don't know.
Incorrect. Which Beatles song shares a name with a person we'd call an IRS agent here in the United States?
Pac-Man.
Correct. Which Beatles song shares a name with a type of thrush known for its dark plumage?
Blackbird.
Correct. Which Beatles song shares a name with the act of over? Okay, you kind of started getting it at the end. You got Taxman, you got Blackbird. The 24-hour period that ended 7 hours ago is yesterday. Revolution is overthrowing a government or monarch, and Michelle is the song that shares a title with the First Lady. So 2 points for Chris. Let's bring Woods in. He's probably going to be annoyed by this category.
Yeah.
All right, Chris's score is locked in. All right, this is a little bit different. There's no 2-second song, but you don't get the category, so you'll kind of figure it out as you go, I think, pretty fast. Now, 60 seconds on the clock. Time begins when I start reading the first question. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Chris. Which Beatles song shares a name with the 24-hour period that ended a little more than 7 hours ago?
What? Pass.
Which Beatles song shares a name with a type of thrush known for its dark plumage?
Blackbird.
Correct. Which Beatles song shares a name with the act of overthrowing a sitting government or monarch?
Pass.
Which Beatles song shares a name with the First Lady of the United States from January 2009 to January 2017?
Michelle.
Correct. Which Beatles song shares a name with a person we call an IRS agent here in the United States?
Taxman.
Correct. Which Beatles song shares a name? Which Beatles song shares a name with the 24-hour period that ended a little more than 7 hours ago?
Mother's Day.
Incorrect. Which Beatles song shares a name with the act of overthrowing a sitting government or monarch?
It's gonna drive me nuts. I don't know.
That one's Revolution.
Oh.
And the other one's Yesterday.
Oh God.
But you did get a 3-2 win.
Ooh, that was
That's
tough.
a new. That was. I was trying
I like
something
that
new
bit.
there. That's
I like
called
the bit. I do.
In a Word, the Beatles. One-word song titles with trivia questions that match each of the answers.
I do like that bit a lot. That's good.
So
Before I
Chris
keep it
got 2.
fresh.
You got 3.
Mother's
You
Day.
hold on. Yesterday.
I'm like, Mother's Day. Do they have a song?
Yeah, it's tricky. It was different.
I like
I was trying to. I'm
Yesterday.
trying to open it up to people who don't necessarily know all the music.
Yeah, but you're clever. That's a clever.
You've got trivia questions there.
Yesterday.
Chris, thank you for trying.
All my troubles.
I love
seem
that song.
So far away. Beautiful song.
All right, we've
Sorry,
got.
Paul.
We're going to take a break. We've got "Don't Do This" coming up next. I was going to talk about those Dodgers marchers in "Don't Do This." We already kind of addressed it earlier. I don't know if there's anywhere else to go there, but we'll figure it out when we come
I
back.
think they've been sufficiently
I think they
embarrassed this
have.
morning.
Yeah, we'll figure it out when we come back. Ben Woods back after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Don't Do This, brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley. Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com, take a look at their happy hour specials today. Crafttaco.com. I think I heard on their spot on the Padres game that they are like number 22 in the country on Yelp or something for tacos. People are loving the Craft Taco. We did when we went. It was terrific. All right, I'm going to start Don't Do This with an incident that took place over the weekend in Rome. Maybe you saw the video. After his second round win in the Italian Open, Novak Djokovic was walking over toward the tunnel, and they had people looking for autographs, which is fine that they do that at the end of tennis matches. And a guy is leaning down from the stands above to try to get an autograph, and his big heavy water bottle falls out of his backpack and falls like 10 feet and just bonks Djokovic right in the head. He goes down like a house of bricks, and he's got blood on his head. That he didn't need stitches. He said he was okay, but obviously
How high did it come from?
I mean, he was like 10 feet up, like leaning way down.
Oh, that is a
ow.
Let me see.
Yeah, I mean it's really heavy.
All right, now you stand.
No. This
is.
I'm
just gonna drop it.
It's gonna. Don't break it.
I'll buy you a new thermo flask.
Yeah, it's from Costco. Yeah.
Oh
Jeez,
my
ow.
God!
Can you imagine that
and
hitting you in the head?
You have a condom on the bottom of yours.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
Dude.
So Djokovic said he was okay, but then came back out yesterday in the third round and lost and said, I just never really felt like myself. It was not a great match. Lost the first couple of sets. Yeah.
Somebody dropped an anvil on my head like a cartoon when I was a kid.
And it wasn't on purpose. It was totally, and I can see how it happens. You've got it in your backpack, and then you're leaning down to try to get an autograph, and it slides right out. I mean, I'm sure that guy felt absolutely horrible.
Him showing up in the helmet was priceless, though, the next day.
But unfortunately, did not work out well for him.
All right, we have to amend this a little bit because I want to get to this story for Do This. This is great.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
My friends here, Ben and Paul, I don't think they're as impressed with this as I am, but
I'm impressed.
It's a sports anchor.
You're easily entertained.
In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, okay? His name's Owen Sebring. He really likes the band Queen, and so he decided to do a tribute, an homage to them. Well, by starting every word of his broadcast with the word in a Queen song, to then go back and put this montage together. This is how he did it.
Buddy, you're a boy. Make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday.
Pause.
You got
Now remember, every time it's the first word.
Remember, what you just heard was probably 2 to 3 weeks.
Correct.
Of sportscasts right there.
So every
just
time
10 to 15
Buddy,
words. That's a week. That's 1
5.
week right there.
Buddy, you're a young man. That's 5. It's a whole week.
Yeah, or if he does 2 a day, then it's half a week at least. But we're talking. This is a long bit.
It's a
mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you. We will rock you, buddy. You're a young man, hard man, shouting in those streets, gonna take on the world someday. You got blood on your face, you big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place. We will rock you. Sing it out. We will rock you, buddy. You're an old man, poor man, pleading with your eyes, gonna make you some peace someday. You got mud on your face.
That's unbelievable. So he starts his broadcast with the next word.
I mean, that must have been months.
So, okay. So
sometimes he was in the studio. Sometimes he was out on the road.
Yeah.
And he said it was the first word of every sportscast.
So imagine. So how do you even start with Buddy?
I don't know.
What
How do you start with blood?
Yeah. Blood rains down to that. Like what? He's genius.
I mean, place. Think of a sentence that starts with place.
Place your finger on the dial and turn it up.
I don't. But how are you going to? That is. I want to see the whole sportscast now.
He's like the Incorporator, but he did an entire song.
Here's the thing. The commitment is impressive. The creativity is impressive.
Genius.
Was he really giving you the best sportscast over the last 3 months, or was he just desperately trying to cram in a bit that didn't really fit many
Sioux
times?
Falls, Iowa. Who cares? Like, what is he talking about? Prolific DeGray says that's a don't do this. I don't know. I think that's a you want to impress me, as Dominic says.
Tom says disgrace is that's an impressive one to
impressive
start. The first word.
Bohemian Rhapsody would be a little difficult to do. Scaramouche.
Yeah.
Scaramouche, everybody. It's your old pal Ben.
Fandango is a site where I got my movie tickets today, and this game was like a movie when we...
Benny, what song would you do, and will you do this?
I will not do this. No.
Hey, everybody, it's Ben
That's
Higgins.
easy.
Very
another win
easy.
for the Padres.
There was another game at Petco Park tonight.
Delilah.
Delilah would be very hard to start a sportscast with.
Over and over and over.
I appreciate the commitment to the bit, but anytime I see videos like that from the news broadcasts,
Look,
I
he
think
lives
it's cringy.
in Iowa. There's nothing else
It was
to
like when
do.
every sportscast or weathercaster or whatever in America was doing Taylor Swift quotes like the week of the Super Bowl.
That-
Like, oh, well, the Chiefs are going to have to shake it off this weekend.
Paulie, I was homicidal during that. During that, I lost my mind.
This is the same thing.
No, this guy's by himself doing a bit for only himself, and then he releases. I think it's genius. Genius.
Well, you just have to watch me, I guess, tonight to find
see
out
what
what
you do.
word I start my sportscast with, and then you can figure out what song I'll be.
Good way to drive the audience to watch you.
Perhaps.
See if they can put together Ben's song.
Should only take a couple of days. I can't imagine anyone figured that out while he was doing it.
No chance. No chance. That's brilliant. That's a brilliant commitment to bit.
And that's Don't and Do This for a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Friday was an epic night at Petco Park. Yeah, they were rocking Petco Park on Friday night. I was there sitting down the third base line. I will give you my thoughts of just being in the middle of one of the better baseball games I have witnessed in person.
And if you have
in my
not
life.
heard the gamut of calls for the walk-off, radio, television, Spanish broadcast, Korean broadcast, stick around.
Paulie's got them all coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Took a big risk on Friday night, Woods. Got invited to the game by our friend Nezzy, who is a golf pro up at the Havens Country Club, formerly Vista Valley.
Beautiful place.
Nez is a great guy. Invited Shelly and I. We went to the game, but for his good qualities, he is a Dodgers fan.
Diehard.
Yeah, he got good tickets though from one of his members who couldn't go, and we sat in the third row, right past third base, down the left field line. I had never actually seen a game from that perspective. Really low down, like you're basically literally on the field level down there, watching the game from that low and seeing it from behind, kind of Manny's perspective and the third base coach's perspective. Now what I couldn't see was the movement on Michael King's pitches and how, nasty he was. I could see Luis Campusano never having to move his glove at all, essentially, and you could tell how locked in he was. But then I went and watched later just the incredible ride he had on his changeup. But I'd also he had a tailgate pass for the tailgate lot as well, and we actually tailgated a little bit before the game, and then after the game, waiting for the parking lot to clear out. And just sat there for like 45 minutes while everyone else was just stuck in traffic, because it was one of the most crowded games I've ever been, getting out of Petco Park, because everyone stayed for the end. It was a walk-off, and it was absolutely jammed getting out of downtown on Friday night, so we just kind of kicked it on the back of the car and just sat there for like 45 minutes, which I had never done that either at the end of a game.
You're describing all the things that we normally do. Sit down there, not in the press box. Sucking on free hot dogs, sucking on free soft serve, talking to Hacksaw.
Sucking on a chili dog.
Sucking on chili dogs. On a chili dog. Just shooting the breeze with the saw. How you doing? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
There weren't a lot of tailgaters, though. The tailgate lot was not filled with tailgaters.
Not after.
Even before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just... I love a good tailgate out there. It's so much fun. You get a little bit lubed up before you get inside and then go have a great time. But yeah, you get to watch Manny's ass all night at third base.
Yeah, but I risked having to drive home with a Dodger fan, if they had won. No. I wanted to drive home with a mad Dodgers fan.
For sure.
I didn't want to have to drive home with a gloating Dodgers fan. Unfortunately, I did not.
What a game it was.
Yeah, we will get to all the calls of the walk-off by Luis Arraez in his first home game as a Padre right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. Got a few problems here. One of them is across the clearing stage on the coastline, southbound 5, just before the 805 split. Also, collision on southbound 15 before Villa Rancho Parkway. A couple vehicles involved there over the right shoulder. And getting reports of a collision on southbound 125 just past the 8. 2 vehicles involved in this one, not showing if lanes are blocked. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car. It usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Sean, just echoes that sentiment. Ben, you're just describing a normal fan experience.
I am.
But glad you enjoyed it.
I did. So what you don't get normally is such a great pitcher's duel. And not just one, but both starters were fantastic in that game. Obviously, Michael King, 8 of the first 9 outs of that game were by strikeout. I mean, we had a good view of the K board down the right field line as the Ks just kept popping up and going like, this is incredible what he is doing against this Dodgers lineup.
Now too, I was doing the math. I'm like, there's been 17 outs and there's 14 combined strikeouts.
Yeah, and Glasnow was in many ways just as good or better. 7 innings. He gave up 1 hit.
1 hit.
And struck out 10.
Yes.
In 7 innings. And that wasn't good enough. He left losing that game because that 1 hit, of course, was the solo home run by Luis Campusano.
Gets on top of a 97-mile-an-hour heater and just rips it out of the yard. Was an unbelievable swing from Campy and just timed it up perfectly, man. It was beautiful.
So we were just talking about the bullpen woes. Obviously, Mike Shildt goes to Yuki Matsui in the 8th, and he gives up the tying run on a Mookie Betts single that would have been a routine out had it not hit him in the leg. Yeah. It was going right at Xander Bogaerts at second base. It would have been an easy out. Now, Ohtani's...
And to his defense, you didn't see this on TV. It wasn't one of those scenarios where the pitcher, being a moron, trying to make the play, he just smoked it up the middle. Like and he
did hit it hard, and that's on Matsui as well.
Yeah. But Yuki didn't do like let me kick save this to myself. No, it just smoked him in the leg. Bad luck for the Padres.
Now,
and
the
you started to
Ohtani
wonder.
double was well struck the other way. Good piece of hitting, and Ohtani has been the best hitter in baseball. And then after that, Matsui did a nice job of minimizing the damage.
Huge.
Gave up the sac fly to Freeman, but then got out of the inning with the double play.
Huge.
Giving up a run in that scenario while everyone was going crazy. Oh, you wasted Michael King's performance. You're going to blow the game. Bad bullpen management. Giving up a run to the top of the Dodgers lineup is not the biggest crime a relief pitcher has ever committed.
It's absolutely
He didn't
not.
give up 2. He didn't give up 3.
Nope.
He lost the lead, but I kind of at that moment was going, you know what? I'm okay with that. They get out of that inning with a chance to win the game still.
Let me just go back because again, you're watching from down the third baseline. I cannot say enough to you about the quality of pitches that Michael King threw.
It was filthy.
The run on his changeup, the run on his sinker. It was wiffle ball-esque in the first few innings, especially. I mean, and as you saw, he ripped through 7 of 8 strikeouts. You couldn't have hit it with an oar.
I mean,
it
way
was
he throws across his body,
and
his foot's pointed towards third base. His right arm comes around towards the left-handed batter's box, and that ball just slides 2 feet.
He had 23 inches of run on one of his pitches. 23 inches of runs, 2 feet. It was unbelievably great that night, and you saw that and you went.
That means where you think the ball is going to be and you swing, the ball is actually 2 feet away.
It is
not making
unbelievable.
contact with that.
It is so. It's amazing anyone ever hits any of these pitches ever, but he was so dominant, and you do feel for him that he didn't get the win, certainly. But man, you're going against Tyler Glass now. You got to scratch out a run. You did it with the long ball. Again, the only hit he gave up. He was spectacular as well. A lot of fun to watch pitch. I hate that he's a Dodger because I do love that guy.
So the Padres don't score in the bottom of the 8th.
Yep.
And then they bring in Suarez in the top of the 9th.
Yep.
Gets the job done as he always does. But you're going to the bottom of the 9th. And I actually said this at the game ago. You better win it here because
You got to.
the Dodgers' top of the order would be coming up again in the 10th. And who knows who's coming in to pitch. You've got to win it here in the bottom of the 9th. And Campy leads off the inning, and I'm sitting down, of course, the left field line. So he pulls one into the corner. I can't see it there. I am sure that ball is foul. I'm sure it's foul. And he's running. I'm going, what's going on? That looked like a foul ball to me. But there he's standing on second. I'm going, I got to see the replay of this later. Yeah, it just barely fair down in the corner.
What a night.
So Mike Schilt, I think, smartly gets very aggressive by putting in Tyler Wade to pinch run at second base.
Gotta do it.
Tries to get the runner over to third with the Kim bunt. Apparently, he got absolutely hosed on one of the
He
calls.
did. It was a foot outside.
I couldn't tell on that one, but he
was
did
so
not
hot.
get the job done, and that was at the time felt like maybe critical, like the critical mistake that's going to cost the Padres the game. Who knows? Maybe it's what won the Padres the game because you have a different set of circumstances, runner on third versus runner on second. The Dodgers decide to pitch to Luis Ariz, knowing that a single could beat them. I understand Fernando Tatis Jr. is in the on-deck circle.
Bro.
There's no one I'd less want to pitch to in a situation where a single beats me in Major League Baseball today
than Lord Single himself.
Than Luis Ariz.
Lord Single. He's the singles master.
I don't know what they were
one
thinking.
guy
You've
you
got
want in that situation.
Michael Grove, one of your lesser relievers in there.
Yeah.
Why on earth do you not set up a double play force? I mean, even Tatis hits hard grounders at people sometimes.
And Tatis, I mean, honestly, like it's a weird thing to say. I'd rather face Tatis in that situation based on kind of how things have been going for him in that game.
If it's a three-run game, you don't want to bring his power bat up for a chance. But in a tie game, yes, I'd rather face Tatis any day of the week compared to Luis Ariz.
No doubt.
That's righty. What, are you scared of him hitting a bomb? Because Luis Ariz doesn't matter.
A bomb, a single, all the same in that situation.
All the same. I loved it. I loved every second.
Why they did that, I have no
keep
idea.
Him forever. Lifetime contract.
I'm so glad that they did.
Best manager in baseball.
And, of course, the results were
just Dave Roberts.
Pure bliss for the crowd, for fans at home. And Paulie has amassed every single call of the walk-off for Luis Ariz in his first home game at Petco Park. Let's start right here on 97.3 The Fan. Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr.
Left-handed batter. Here's the first pitch from Grove. Line into center field and a base hit. Wade's on his way to third. He's going to be waved. Outman's throw is on the way. No chance. And the Padres walk it off.
Who else? Luis Ariz.
Love it.
Solid. Very good. Well done as always. I know the television call got a lot of run for the restraint. Well, first of all, the excitement of Don Orsillo, followed by the restraint of Mudd, waiting forever to chime in. But here was Don's call.
Line to center field, a base hit. Wade's coming around from second. Here comes the throw. He will be safe. Welcome to San Diego. Luis arrives. A walk-off base hit. Padres win it.
Absolutely. We have gone 2 hours and 50 minutes, and you have not even mentioned that you called for this on Friday.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I asked for it specifically right at the end of the show on Friday.
Yes, you did.
I said, Padres have done a lot of good things this year. One thing we have not seen is a walk-off win. If they're going to win against Tyler Glasnow, it's probably going to be a close game. I said, let's get that box checked on Friday night, and let's get the walk-off win. So, yeah, it absolutely happened. Now, people have said they did not hear the Dodgers version of it. Paulie, of course, is acquired. This is Joe Davis on TV. Yeah, there's the Dodgers call.
So Luis Ariz in his first game at Petco Park, up there with a chance to win the game. And he bangs the base hit into center field. The game at the plate. Outman's throw, not in time. And he's a hero in his first game in San Diego.
That's a nice call from Joe Davis. Yeah, thank you.
Gets the job done. It's fine.
Woke up from his nap to call that last bit of action.
The Spanish call is always great. We've got Eddie Ortega here calling it for the Padres on the radio.
Primer bate. Arraez, línea de hit. A ver, jugada en home. Viene el tiro. Safe and home de cabeza. Tyler Wade. Se acabó el juego. Ganaron los Padres. Dejó lo mejor para el final. Arrasando. Arraez.
Arrasando Arraez.
Unreal.
I heard safe at home. We went English on that call.
Safe at home.
Safe at home de cabeza. Tyler Wade. Se acabó el juego. Ganaron los Padres. Dejó lo mejor para el final.
The head. Tyler Wade.
Arrasando. Arraez.
I love it.
That's fantastic. What a great call by Eduardo Ortega.
As usual, man. I mean, come on. It's like Manny playing third base. Eddie makes so many great calls. You're like, you're great. Just another one. You know, we've taken it for granted. He's so good at what he does.
Terrific.
Oh, head first slide. Got it.
Oh, head first slide. Thank you,
Cabeza. Love it. De cabeza.
And by the way, if Campusano had still been out there, I don't think you send him. If you do, he's probably out.
He does not make it.
But Tyler Wade, the pinch runner, made a huge difference there.
That was so cool.
Of course, we have one more call.
Oh, yes. Program
and
director's nightmare.
I have not heard it yet.
자, 2루가 됐습니다. 그리고 루이스 아라에스 센터 쪽에 떨어지는 홈으로 미끄러집니다. 파드레스의 끝내기 승리입니다.
Unreal. It's my favorite. One more time.
루이스 아라에스 센터 쪽에 떨어지는 홈으로 미끄러집니다. 파드레스의 끝내기 승리입니다.
I've never been that excited about anything ever in my life. I need some of that joy in my life.
I want to get those guys on the show. I don't know if we'll need a translator or
yeah, maybe.
But they're so excited about Padres baseball. I have no idea who they are, where they've come from, how long they've been doing these games. Have they been doing it since Ha-Seong Kim arrived? Have they been calling Padres games
in Korea?
30 years? Are they at Petco? Are they in Korea? I have no idea who they are. Other than they are amazing.
Johnny says you could hear how badly they wanted Kim to walk it off the at-bat before. Yeah, 100%. I did tweet, hey, listen, I've said it. You guys will back me up on this. You know I don't hate all bunts, right? Time and place for a bunt. That was one. But if he gets that down, they probably walk a rise there.
I would think.
Yeah.
Maybe Tatis, too.
Interesting.
You might not win the game if you actually get the bunt down.
Crazy, man. Baseball's wild.
The butterfly effect.
Sometimes when you win, you actually lose. When you lose, you actually win.
All right, we'll come back. If you want to join us, 833-288-0973. More Padres talk all the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, halfway home on a Monday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be here with you. Been fun recapping all those games over the weekend. Epic weekend at Petco Park. And now we, worry about the Rockies coming in. We'll get to all that coverage later in the show. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And after the show ended on Friday, a bunch of news came down that was pretty sad. I mean, honestly, and I didn't get a chance to tune into Annie and Elston, but I did see a couple of clips going around, and some really big names passed away, and I think it started right after the show. I actually pulled you out of your car, Ben.
Yeah, we just left.
We just walked out the door. You were in your car about to leave, and I knocked on the window. I said, "You see the news about Sean Burroughs, former Padres third baseman Sean Burroughs, had passed away?" And you saw the tributes pouring in over the weekend. Do you have many memories of covering Sean?
Absolutely, and Craig talked about him as well. Sean was coming up when he and I were hosting the pre and the post game show, and he was really terrific. Super nice guy. Was willing to talk and share with us a bunch.
Seemed
was
like
one of our
great personality.
Was one of our absolute favorites. He was just one of those guys that you wanted to root for and hoped he succeeded. Had the whole story of being the Little League World Series hero for Long Beach twice in a row as an 11 and a 12-year-old, and then drafted 17 years old, and had a lot of weight of expectations that was on him as the future star, the next Tony Gwynn.
When
honestly,
your GM calls you the next Tony Gwynn, that is a tough weight to carry.
And he had to, he had to bear that weight and responsibility. He actually was a good major league hitter. He started his career out well. He hit close to 300 his first season, and then, at some point, they started trying to make some swing changes to add power, and it just never really took well. He got into a funk, a spiral, ended up, out of baseball. And then he started having, obviously, the off-the-field troubles with addiction, substance abuse.
So I remembered very little about that. And I knew he'd run into some trouble. It's not really uncommon for a lot of ex-ball players to have that. But what I didn't realize, man, is that it got to the point that it did for Sean. Scavenging garbage cans for food, moving from seedy motel to motel, paranoid, hallucinating, etc., was able, through the help of his parents and some programs, to get his life back. And not only that, make it back to the big leagues, which is staggering.
An opportunity from Kevin Towers when he was then the GM of the Arizona Diamondbacks to give him another shot, and he made it back to the big leagues, which is incredible.
It's unreal. But the part that absolutely wrecked me, as you can imagine, is that he had pulled into the parking lot to coach his 6-year-old, and he didn't show up to the field, and they were looking for him. Where's Coach Burroughs? Where's Coach Sean? Whatever. And he had a heart attack in the parking lot on his way to coach his 6-year-old. My heart just broke in half, man. I was so bummed to read that news about Sean Burroughs, and I know he touched a lot of people in this community. Our friend Annie, who does the delicious baked goods for us, I mean, she said Sean Burroughs was like a brother to her. So it was a really, really tough day. Then I saw your tweet, and I guess I didn't realize how close to Barry Axelrod you were. Longtime agent Barry Axelrod passed away, another local, on Friday as well. So, yeah, really sad.
Yeah, I actually had heard about it on Thursday evening, but I wasn't sure if his family was ready to make it public, so I wasn't going to break the news. But,
thank you for that.
He was longtime. His office was right down the street from where I grew up. It was in Encinitas there on the corner of Rancho Santa Fe Road and Encinitas Boulevard. And as I was getting started in the broadcasting world, a couple of people that I knew Barry, and they said, "What? Just go talk to him." I mean, I knew he wasn't going to take me on as a client. I had no gigs or anything, but he had, he was a well-known figure in the sports world, represented guys like Phil Nevin and Jake Peavy, and was just considered a wise, agent with a lot of connections. And he absolutely said, "Yo, Ben, I'll take you out to lunch." Took me to the Italian place Firenze right there. And I remember sitting down with him and just getting some advice on, a broadcasting career and how it might work out for me. And I never forgot that. And I always appreciated that. Saw me, a few times over the years after that. Said hello. He was always super friendly, super nice, as well respected as really any agent in baseball. Not the He's not. It wasn't the Scott Boras that was getting all the headlines.
Yeah.
People didn't write about Barry Axelrod a lot, but his clients, people in baseball, knew him and understood what he was about and respected him tremendously. So, to me, that was a big loss as well to the world of baseball. Certainly not as high profile maybe as Sean Burroughs, but a big one nonetheless late last week.
And then Sam Rubin, later on in the show, or later on in the day, he passed away from a long time. What would you call him? He's an anchor,
LA entertainment anchor, guy who
yeah.
interviewed celebrities on KTLA just for years and years. I didn't have really any idea how respected he was in the world of Hollywood.
I mean,
in the LA
beloved.
entertainment industry.
Ryan Reynolds, Ben Stiller, like all kinds of huge stars. I know Sandy Bannister, who worked in this market for a long time. She had a really heartfelt tribute about Sam. She worked with him. He said that he absolutely could have been the world's biggest diva if he wanted to, but when they had to travel, never asked for a car, never asked for a suite, was just a genuine down-to-earth good dude. And so that was another one that came down right after the show. And then this one I found out about yesterday. This one was a little bit dicier for you, I think.
Yeah. The Atlanta Falcons, actually, his son Kyle Smith announced the passing of former San Diego Chargers general manager A.J. Smith at the age of 75. And I guess he had been battling prostate cancer the last 7 years. He undoubtedly goes down as, I think, the most successful general manager in Chargers history. 98 wins over a decade, put together Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates, and presided over one of the golden eras of Chargers football. Obviously, he was an easy guy to dislike. He was gruff, surly, condescending at times, especially if you're a member of the media, just frustrating to deal with.
Was he mean to you?
Not mean. He was never mean, I would say. He wasn't trying to be mean, but he was obtuse. He was like AJ Preller, like the other AJ, was, never wanted to give out a shred of information. He did have a twinkle in his eye, though, and a sense of humor, and you could tell he cared. He cared about the team. He cared about his family, cared about the Chargers, wanted to win. And as general managers go, I knew he was a really sharp guy, so I always respected A.J. Smith. I didn't look forward to having to go to a press conference and interview him.
He wasn't a jerk to be a jerk.
But no, he wasn't a jerk to be a jerk. He was a jerk because he felt like it's kind of part of his job to really be buttoned up and not share, it's the most serious thing in the world, football. So that he treated it that way, and that's fine. That was part of who he was, and I was a little surprised when I saw that. I was not expecting that news about the passing of A.J. Smith.
Well, you know how we do it on the Ben and Woods program. We'll do it We'll do a 4 for 1 today for all of the departed.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Their families.
Shout out to their families.
His family. Sad weekend for sure.
How about the parallel, though? Whoa, I just cranked my volume. Holy crap, I'm deaf.
No one else can hear that. Just
I know.
you.
Oh, my God. How about the crazy parallel? Sean Burroughs walking off with a single. Petco Park's opening night, which is pretty cool. And then Luis Ariz on the day that he passed, getting that knock and walking off the Dodgers. Pretty special thing. But just honestly, like, PSA to everyone out there.
Get your PSA checked.
Get you checked. Yeah, get checked. I scheduled my physical for June 3rd. I'm not looking forward to it. The older you get, the scarier they get, certainly. But that Sean Burroughs one just shook me to my core. I mean, it really did shake me to my core. So, yeah, man, take care of yourself. Your family loves you. Your family needs you. Just a real bummer. Gone way too soon in his case.
All right, if you want to join us, 833-288-0973. Padres win their 4th consecutive series over the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now it's the Colorado Rockies' turn. They come to town, surprise, surprise, after completing a sweep of the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers. 3-1 was yesterday's final. Now, the Rockies have been better at home than on the road. 9-12 at home, 3-16 on the road. Still a team you need to take advantage of. You can't have a Dodger hangover the next 3 days and all of a sudden lose 2 of 3 to the Colorado Rockies. Just can't do it. You got to get that win today. Got to keep the momentum going. If there is such a thing in baseball and continue to build, not give up, because the gains have been very slowly achieved. Padres had that 5-game losing streak?
Yep.
When they got swept by the Phillies and lost a couple of games around that. I think they went from like 1 game above 500 to 4 games below 500. Since then, they have slowly crawled their way back to 1 game above 500 at 22-21. They actually are holding the final wild card spot in the National League right now. They're the only one of 6 teams with a winning record in the National League at this moment. You can't give back gains that you fought for over 2.5 weeks by having a bad series now. You haven't swept anyone all season long.
Correct.
Not one series.
We had an interesting convo this morning before the show. We can do it here. I think it's interesting, and we can't go back though on our bedrock of the season, which is just win series, win some series. Would sweeps be lovely? Yes, they'd be lovely. We would love them. If you continue to win series, you're going to be in a good place. Yes,
I
yes
do
or
think
no?
yes, but I think
Yes.
there's a caveat to that. Win series and don't get swept. Because if you win 3 series and then get swept once, you're just right back to where you started.
Correct.
That's a 3-1 record in series. You go, hey, we're winning 75% of our series. We're one of the best teams in baseball. No, you're not. You're 500. If you win 3 straight 3-game series and then get swept in a 3-game series, you are 6-6 over those 12 games. That does you no good, essentially. So because the Padres have been swept once and have not swept anything, even though they've won the majority of the series they've played this year, they're only a game above 500 right now.
It's been driving me insane, like watching every pitch and then every couple days seeing the record. You're just like, this team feels so much better than what their record shows, but they're a game above, a game below, or just 500. Like, they're just hovering right around there, which is, fine for now, I guess, but I'm still waiting for them to go on a run, get 4 or 5 games above 500.
Yeah, I mean, and to do that, you're going to have to work in a sweep every now and then. You will. But again, I don't want to go back on winning. I don't want to start saying winning series is a bad thing.
No,
here.
it's not. And Mike Schilt makes the great point that when you get to the playoffs, winning series is the only thing that matters.
That's
You
it.
move on when you win a series.
100%. You don't have to sweep anybody.
You do not have to sweep anybody. However, it's a lot easier to get to the playoffs if you do mix in a sweep every once in a while. It gives you some margin for error. You're not going to win every series all season long. So when you do get a sweep, when you roll together 7 or 8 wins in a row once or twice, it just allows you to have the off day or the off week, where you drop a couple of series.
Yeah.
It happens to everyone. The Dodgers have dropped series. Guess what? They also have, I think, 3 or 4 sweeps already. So
That will help
they're
you.
still
Get to a point where if you go 2 and 4 in a week, it doesn't murder
It doesn't
you.
absolutely kill you. Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't give back everything you've been doing for the last few weeks
No
by
doubt.
losing a series or 2. So
No doubt, man.
yeah, I'm not going to go back on saying the goal is to win series, but it's a slow grind this way, the way the Padres are building back up to get back above 500. It's not the easiest way to go.
Hey, man, I'll take it, though. I'll take winning series every day of the week. I'd love. Now, listen, the Rockies come in. What I don't want to happen is if we win 2 or 3 to be like, ugh, we blew it. I mean, there's going to be some of that. They're not a good baseball team. They are playing better baseball, and I do realize they have not played well on the road. We also haven't played that well at home.
We'll see what happens.
Good.
They win the first 2 and then drop the third one with a 9-4 lead like they did in Colorado.
Correct.
Then I'm going to be upset. I
Correct.
don't care if they won the series.
I'll give you a stat for tonight's game when we come back about the matchup. Just a little early preview that I've been saving. But I'll give you that. We got Sam Levitt, in-season Sam. He's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. I see we got some callers on the line. Might be able to get to a few of those as well. Don't go anywhere. More Bennett Woods coming up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. So you've heard the old saying about the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. It's kind of my nugget for tonight's game, Padres Rockies. Heard the stat a couple of times now on the airwaves that when Matt Waldron or Randy Vasquez starts, Padres are 1-10 this season. Randy Vasquez will be going tonight for the Padres. That's your immovable object. Your indestructible force is that the Colorado Rockies are 1-6 when Dakota Hudson starts. Now, he has not pitched poorly, just as Matt Waldron and Randy Vasquez has not always pitched poorly. He's had a couple of decent outings. The Rockies just haven't given him run support in some of those. He has pitched poorly in others. In fact, the worst outing he has had is only the game the Rockies have won when he started. Gave up 6 runs in 3 1/3 innings on April 25th against the San Diego Padres, a game in which they built a 9-4 lead and lost 10-9. That's the only game the Rockies have won this season when Dakota Hudson has taken the mound.
Yeah, he was terrible that game.
He was awful. And he will pitch again tonight as the Rockies try to get their second win. With him on the mound, the Padres will try to get a second win with either Matt Waldron or Randy Vasquez on the mound tonight. Something has got to give because one of those two teams will win tonight's game at Petco Park.
I mean,
there's your nugget.
And hopefully Randy Vasquez builds on what he was able to do last time because he looked really, really good. And that would be that'd be really, really nice for our beloved San Diego Padres if he could get that kind of figured out, Benny. Fresh bullpen, didn't use many guys yesterday at all. So, Kolek's ready, Yuki's ready, Adrian is ready, De Los Santos is ready, Johnny Brito threw 40 on Saturday. He probably maybe down another day. But, yeah, for the most part, and I think, Suarez threw 22.
Strada's ready.
Yeah, Strada's ready. You could use any of those cats today. So, yeah, and you may need to, and hopefully you don't. Hopefully you go out and tee off on Dakota Hudson. But remember, no lead is safe against Dakota Hudson and the Colorado Rockies. But we are not playing in weird-ass Coors Field. We are playing right here in weird-ass Petco Park.
I hope it makes a difference.
So do I.
Yeah. Let's continue this homestand on a good note. 833-288-0973. Get a phone call or two in before Sammy joins us at the bottom of the hour. We got Ryan calling in here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Ryan.
All right.
Ryan, are you there? I hear him kind of in the background.
Fumbling around.
Caller, are you on hold?
There you are.
Hi.
You're laughing
Welcome.
now. Well, you can hear you on the air. You're on the radio in San Diego. Maybe he's not Ryan. Maybe you're someone else.
Hello?
Oh, it's me, Christy.
Christy!
Oh, hi. It's
Yes.
close.
So that's our fault then. It's our caller ID's
Oh,
fault.
my goodness. Oh, yeah. Hi, how are you?
Good.
I just wanted to say the commentary for Eddie Ortega. When
Amazing.
he
Oh.
commented on Arais, he actually said, I never heard him say it before, he said Arais Salto, which means assault by Arais.
Ooh.
So he had a little play with words.
That was
Yeah,
call
he
that.
said Arais Salto, which means assault by Arais. So I thought that was awesome.
That's amazing.
And
I
I
love
wanted to highlight to you guys that's what he said.
Nice.
so
Give
good.
give us
Thank
that
you.
call one more time. The Spanish language call of Friday night's walk-off win with Eduardo Ortega on the call.
Primer bate, Arraez, línea de hit. A ver, jugada en home, viene el tiro. Safe and home, de cabeza, Tyler Way. Se acabó el juego. Ganaron los Padres. Dejó lo mejor para el final. Arrasando, Arraez.
Eddie.
So good.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What a great call that was. The rest of the NL West continues to kind of churn in place.
Yes.
Diamondbacks did avoid a sweep by the Orioles with Zach Gallen pitching them to a 9-2 win yesterday. Giants did take 2 of 3 from the Reds on a walk-off double by San Diego State's Casey Schmidt yesterday. 6-5. We mentioned the Rockies' surprise sweep of the Rangers, but so far the Padres have been able to keep all those other wild card contenders just slightly behind them in the race for the most part. The Nationals are still the closest team to the Padres. They lost to the Red Sox 3-2 yesterday. They're a game under 500. The Mets are, I think, a game under. They had a walk-off win last night on Sunday Night Baseball over the Braves on a Brandon Nimmo.
home run.
2-run shot. I guess he got hurt on Saturday, came back late in the game and won it for them on Sunday. So there's still a bunch of teams. I mean, other than the Marlins and the Rockies, and even the Marlins beat the Phillies yesterday, so they're not without their their positive qualities, pretty much everybody is chasing the Padres right now. Cubs and the Phillies and the Braves and the Dodgers and the Brewers are the kind of the leaders right now, and then the Padres are that sixth team and
grinding for
just
it. Man.
Everybody is right behind them though at this point.
It's grindy so far. It is, and you know what you need is somebody to. What you need is to go on a little run. You need to sweep these. It'd be great to sweep these games this week, and you get a few games above 500, and knowing the schedule is going to get pretty difficult here pretty soon.
I hope. I really do hope that Xander Bogaerts takes some confidence out of the last couple of at bats yesterday and can get going. We mentioned earlier he's not the only good hitter that has struggled earlier in the season.
Manny's dying right now.
But even elsewhere, like Julio Rodriguez finally hit his second home run for the Mariners yesterday.
Well, how about Paul Goldschmidt? By the way,
Paul Goldschmidt's been awful for the Cardinals.
He was in a 0 for 30. Now Xander was at an 0 for before he hit that bomb. He was at an 0 for 18. Right. So think 4 more games really beyond that, and that's where Paul Goldschmidt was. Paul Goldschmidt's one of the best hitters I've seen in the last 20 years. He's incredible. He is throwing out 0 for 30s this season. I do not know what's going on. As I tweeted over the weekend, hitting remains very difficult, but Manny needs to get it going. Manny yesterday, his defense was obviously spectacular. It always is. It's great. The stick, him trying to bunt and stuff with Muncy back, it just speaks to he's not feeling very confident in his swing right now, and it just doesn't.
Now Profar did it, and he's as hot as anyone's been.
Well, now Profar's been a little cold as well this series.
Not quite as but I mean the Dodgers have good pitchers.
Sure, yeah,
no doubt about it.
You're trying to get something going, and I totally get that and respect it. I don't want to see Manny Machado bunt ever, even if it's for a hit. He needs to swing. He needs to swing the bat.
He had
good
at least one or two
bad
luck line drives. One went to the second baseman, made a nice play. I mean, I think the swing's still in there for Manny. It's just, he's kind of now where Xander was for a while, just not seeing any results from some good swings.
When he DHs, and takes an offer, it stings badly. When he's in the field and takes an offer, it's a little bit better because you're going to get grade A defense every time from him.
Our Sam Levitt was on scene all weekend long
Beast
in
of
the
the
Western
Belly?
Metal, in the Beast of the Belly, the entire weekend. No Beast at Petco Park. A lot of people said there were more Dodgers fans. No, there were more Padres fans at those games. There were a lot of Dodgers fans.
100%.
But,
there always is.
There was more Padres fans at those games. A lot of them went up to see Sammy in the loft. We'll talk with Sam Levitt, our Padres pre- and post-game show host, coming up next with Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. Fresh, human-grade dog food from a healthier way to more energy when you switch your dog's food to the Farmer's Dog. The effects can feel magical. What sorcery is this? None at all. It's just real food made for the health of dogs. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. Quick, before we get to Sammy, quick point. So I mentioned on Friday night I was sitting in the third row. Even in the third row, when someone in the first or second row stood up, you could not see past them. Is it okay to stand up when watching a baseball game, especially down low, when you then force everyone behind you to have to stand up as well?
Depends on the situation.
Like
of the
two
game.
strikes, everybody stands up.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it's the third inning and it's...
I always feel real guilty because I'm so tall. And I don't want to block anyone's view. So I tend to just stay seated the entire time, no matter what the situation. Unless it's the last out of the game and everyone's up, then I'll get up. Yeah. But I usually stay
people
down.
in front of me are up. I'm getting up.
But
I'm
we
like,
had a lot
it's
of...
not my fault. It's theirs.
We had a lot of people yelling. There were a couple Dodger fans. One with hey, Kurt, hey, 22. Down in front. He was like the only one
22,
standing.
Clayton Kershaw was in the crowd.
Well,
watching
someone
the
wearing
game.
a jersey with Clayton Kershaw, so they'd yell at him by jersey name. It wasn't all just Dodger fans. Sometimes Padre fans would get up as well. But I noticed down low at Petco Park, anytime someone in the front gets up, everyone has to get up.
Yes.
Because it's not very steep down there.
Correct.
It's pretty
flat.
down at field, flat down at field level. So you can't see anything. I couldn't even see past Tim Leeper, the third base coach.
Yeah.
He constantly blocked my view of home plate. And the umpire would
good
sometimes
seats.
block my view of Manny Machado. Yeah, it was low. It was good. It was close. It was easy to get blocked out. So I try to stay seated the entire time.
That doesn't surprise me. You know? You don't need... It's the thing about baseball. It's not a playoff game, right? It's a big game. It's not a playoff game. You don't need to be on your feet the entire game, in my opinion. I'm not going to.
No.
Good ask.
No.
I'm not trying to stand and watch a baseball game. Now, if it's a World Series...
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Different. I went to a World Series game. Did not sit down the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Did not sit at all. Not even like in between innings. You just stood there and kind of took it all in. But that was a different beast entirely. But yeah, no, I think it's okay to sit, and I think it's okay to tell people to grab a seat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't try to do anything.
I know.
just let it go. All right, Sammy's standing by. We'll get to Sam Levitt right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Tough Turtle Turf. Transform your lawn with toughturtleturf.com. Just a couple problems here. Southbound 15 at Valley Parkway, collision over to the right shoulder. A couple vehicles involved in that. Northbound side of the 805, clearing an accident near Imperial. Still seeing a little leftover slowing there. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Tough Turtle Turf is your go-to for all your landscaping needs. Transform your lawn with our lush, low-maintenance proprietary artificial turf. And add style and functionality with our durable pavers and stepping stones. And so much more. Transform your lawn with Tough Turtle Turf at toughturtleturf.com.
And Padres set a 3-game series attendance record, nearly 134,000 fans at Petco Park Friday to Sunday. And at least 110,000 of them stopped by to say hello to Sam Levitt in the Western Metal Supply Company building in the loft. Sammy, good morning. Good to talk to you as always.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, it was a fun weekend at Petco Park. Obviously a good weekend for the Padres. Anytime you can take 2 out of 3 from the LA Dodgers. And yes, I had a lot of people come say hello as always. The funny thing now with our fancy new video YouTube stream of my pre and post game show is that you can actually see in real time people coming up to me, and sometimes they may hop behind me, and you might even see them on the video or whatever happens. So, but I'll tell you what, the funny thing, because there's a lot of, remember, I'm on the radio for the most part while I'm there talking, and I actually have a little on-air sign that lights up, which is kind of nice, and I think just tells people, hey, I'm actually on the radio right now. But I do have a lot of people that will kind of wave or yell my name as they're just walking by. And I always try to acknowledge, so you'll see me talking and then just, kind of look over, wave, smile. Somebody will take a selfie. I'm talking and smiling at the same time. So, that's been an interesting new wrinkle to everything, but a lot of fun to see everybody.
Since we're doing PSAs today, if
Yeah.
Sammy's on the air, don't ever sidle up behind him. No one wants somebody sidling up behind you.
I mean, remote on-air sign is brilliant.
Yes.
We have an old-timey big on-air light outside our studio. So when any of our microphones are on, it turns on. It tells people, don't walk into the studio. The problem is oftentimes, like when we're interviewing like Sammy and he's talking, we'll all turn our microphones off so you can't hear us breathing.
Yes.
That turns the light off. And then all of a sudden, sales guy or someone walks in the middle of our interview going, we're in a segment right now. Just because the light's not on doesn't mean you can just walk into our studio.
Yeah, and let me also be clear. The on-air sign being lit up, and it's pretty small, it does not deter anyone from...
Please, you guys,
it encourages some, I think, actually.
Yeah, well, which, by the way, I want to be clear. If you're in the Western Metal Building, you want to come say hi, please come say hello. Just understand that there are times where I physically cannot talk to you, or I might have my headset on trying to listen to whatever we're playing so I know when we're coming back. So you guys know it's very much a one-man operation, one-man show up there. So please come say hello. If I look like I'm busy or like I'm about to start talking or whatever, please, I just beg people, don't be offended, because there are times where it's tough.
Joined by our pal Sammy Levitt here on Ben and Woods this morning. Love wrapping up or recapping, I guess. When you take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, always feels good. I mean, they're a good team. They got good players.
Yeah.
Big, high, massive payroll. And Shohei being out yesterday certainly helps, But it's not like we didn't run a different looking lineup out there on Saturday, too. That lineup, too, I saw a lot of consternation about it. I understand Mike Schilt stacking it with righties, though I did see lefties have actually hit James Paxton a little bit better. I think one thing we need to understand is guys like Jake Cronenworth, they're going to need a day off from time to time. He's played a ton of games this year, been out on the field a lot. You are going to have to get some of those guys off their feet from time to time, Sammy. And I thought that was a good day to do it. The right-handed hitters, they need to hit James Paxton better.
Right.
James Paxton's gotten really, really lucky this season. But, I thought he pitched a great game, and we just couldn't get anything going off him.
Yeah, I think you make a good point, because I saw some of the discussion about the lineup on Saturday as well. And I think, number one, there's a reality that guys take days off. And number two, I think in the cases of 2 of the guys that sat on Saturday in Camposano and Merrill, look, they've got 2 catchers on the roster, and Luis is not going to catch every game, and especially day game after a night game or night game before a day game, whatever it is. It's a tough situation in that sense in the catching spot, because Luis is so important to the offense, and he's been really good once again this year. And obviously he had just an enormous impact on the game Friday night. Quite frankly, I thought that was one of the coolest aspects of Friday night.
No doubt.
Hearing what Luis Arise said to me. He called him the MVP of the game, Campy. In our post-game interview, and then Michael King said he thought the Campy should be doing the interview out there, because he felt like it was the Campy game. So just a side note there on Camposano with how much he impacted Friday night. And then obviously in the case of Merrill, I think the Padres have to be, I don't know if cautious is the right word, but they do need to make sure they're giving him some rest here and there, just because he's playing every day in the minor leagues. Remember, every 7 days you get an off day. You get an off day between every series. So, this is something that for a 20 to 21-year-old making his first, round in the major leagues, and obviously he's done some great things, I totally understand giving him a day when it makes sense, when he's going to face a tough lefty. And quite frankly, I mean, they looked like geniuses yesterday, right, with Merrill having 3 hits and getting right back to it. So I think there's a little, reality to that with Camposano and Merrill in particular. And I don't blame the Padres for looking for opportunities to get those guys off their feet, although obviously Merrill and Camposano are important to this lineup, and for the most part give you a really quality at bat. So a bit of a trade-off, no doubt.
They do. And something that Tony Gwynn Jr. said on the roundtable, Ben, in reaction to a question you asked him last week, you do see a lot of people tweeting out, it's a punt lineup. Look, your ideal lineup for the San Diego Padres does not have Sugar, Higgy, and who am I missing? Tyler Wade, maybe something like that. It's not your ideal lineup, right? And it seems like those are the days that maybe need to be moved around where Manny could actually play third, and if Campy is swinging a hot bat, because they did put in Campy to pinch hit down 5-0. That actually drove me nuts. I thought, you're going to give him the day off. Just give him the day off. Don't make him gear up to go out and catch the ninth. He can't hit a 5-run homer here. Like, that one actually didn't make the most sense to me. But, look, guys are going to get days off from time to time. Yeah. It's weird sometimes, though, that it seems like, oh, this is when we have all of our bench guys in at once, which is a little bit odd.
Well, and I thought it was interesting yesterday because the moment Azócar came in for defense, and it was still only a 4-0 game at that time, I immediately thought of you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, here comes Azócar. Mike Schultz not listening to the morning
He's
guys.
not. He doesn't
care.
Close
game here. Profar could come up again, but look.
By the way, nor should he. He should not listen to us. Do not listen to anything we say, Mike.
Tyler also mentioned, just quickly, Donovan Solano. As I don't consider him necessarily the B squad lineup.
No,
so
I don't either.
think
Solano's good.
Yeah, I mean, Donovan Solano so far, Sammy, I don't know a ton about him other than he's pretty much been as advertised. He puts together good at-bats, hits the ball on the line. I've liked what I've seen from Donovan Solano so far.
Yeah, he's been very good. I mean, I think he's given them so far in a small sample size exactly what you would have expected, right? Somebody whose numbers have shown that he can put together quality at-bats, and he certainly had a couple of big hits in Chicago during one of these games. And I think the thing that stands out about this lineup and roster as a whole, there are a couple of different variations of the lineup you can have depending on whether Manny's playing third, whether a guy's getting a day off, and so forth. But when you look at this lineup when it's at its full strength, from Arise to Tatis to Cronenworth to Manny to Profar to Bogarts, if yesterday was a sign of him starting to get going, you certainly hope so. Merrill, Camposano, what he's doing, then Kim, then Solano when he plays. All of a sudden, when you pair that with the quality of pitching that they showed this turn through the rotation, I can't lie, you start to dream a little bit, right, about what this team could be and the idea that they could really start to get rolling here. And look, despite not everything being perfect for them over the course of the last week and a half, 2 weeks, they enter this series still winning 8 of their last 11 games. The pitching's been great. They're finding different ways to win. And for all those reasons, and when you consider the depth of their lineup with Solano, some of the bench options they have now with Solano, you start to dream a little bit about this team really, really getting on a run.
I think if you want to grab something from this weekend to hold on to, I mentioned Xander Bogaerts earlier, hopefully finding something yesterday, but I mean, Dylan Cease has already pitched like an ace. Yu Darvish has done it for a long time. And, yeah, he's locked in right now, but I don't worry too much about Yu Darvish. If Michael King can hold on to whatever he found on Friday, that really lengthens the Padres starting rotation. Then you got Cease and Darvish. Hopefully Musgrove's back. And if King can be as nasty as he was, Sammy, I mean, the stat that everyone talking about, the 4 starts with 2 hits or less for the first time since 1893. There is the potential there, as you said, for not just an above average starting rotation, but for something that could be really special, down the stretch.
I absolutely agree. I mean, I think at this point, you know what you're getting from Cease. Darvish has been awesome, and that is a huge, huge development for this team. And then you mentioned it with Michael King. I mean, he was so good on Friday night, especially against that lineup. And when he did get into some trouble, he was able to wiggle his way out of it. I actually had a really good in-depth conversation with him about his start and more yesterday for the pregame show, and it's up on my podcast feed. And we'll tweet out some clips of it today because I thought he was great during it, talking about the outing. But I'm totally with you, Ben. I think, for as good as this offense could be, if, with the addition of Rise, if Manny can get it going, if Xander can get it going, there's no doubt that if guys are going to start to pitch like they pitched through this turn, and Cease has been there, but more specifically Darvish and King, and look, I thought Waldron was fine on Saturday. I thought that was exactly what you could have hoped for to keep you in a game. And obviously there was one bad pitch by De Los Santos on a 1-2 pitch to Hernandez. If he gets Hernandez there, it might end up being a different game and a different result. Who knows? And then, when Joe comes back, if you can add him into that mix and he starts to get it rolling, You certainly know he's capable of it, and you hope he has some sort of similar result to what Darvish has done here since coming off the IL. That, to me, is as big of a development as any for this team, because when you get that quality of starting pitching, you have an opportunity to win a lot of games. And look, even in this last week, I think what they've done is it really top to bottom with the pitching has been impressive. I mean, they played 6 games against the Cubs and the Dodgers. 2, I mean, obviously the Dodgers are a good team. The Cubs are going to be in the postseason mix, when all is said and done. The 2.04 ERA over the course of 6 games, and that's with some of the shakiness in the bullpen, which is a concern. That path to Robert Suarez, I think, is one of the main concerns right now for this team. But no doubt, Ben, to your point, having King perform to that level and show that kind of dominance, that's why he was the centerpiece of that trade, right? I mean, that's why everybody said he had the potential to do things like he did on Friday night. The starting pitching, to me, is a massive development if they can keep it rolling.
Sammy, we'll hear you again tonight. A normal 6:40 start, 5:40 Eco Water SoCal pregame show from the loft at the Western Metal Supply Company building. Please respect the on-air light. If Sammy's there, he turns it on. Wait until he turns it off, and then get your selfies, get your hellos with Sammy when he's on his short little breaks during the show.
Or just yell at me like some of the Dodger fans up there, during the course of the week, and you can do whatever you want. But thank you. And by the way, don't sleep on the Rockies. They've won 4 in a row. They just swept the Rangers.
Yeah,
so
trust us.
Don't look past the rocks.
No, you can't do it. Can't look past anybody. Thank you, Sammy.
All right, bye, guys.
I don't know even who are they facing after the Rockies. I'm not looking past the Rockies.
I'm looking
tonight.
Idea. Let's beat Dakota Hudson.
First, you can't sweep unless you win the first game of the series.
So I said on the air Friday that you were going to the game. Yeah, I told people to give you hugs if they saw you. Did you get any hugs?
I didn't get any hugs. I got had someone in our section that was wearing a "Do the Show Bitch" shirt, which was really cool.
That's always cool.
I had someone as I was walking out.
Do the show, bitch.
You are good for the city of San Diego.
Yes,
which I thought that was nice.
It's very nice.
My wife laughed at me later. Like,
yeah,
really, you're good for the city of San Diego.
I think you are. I think you're good for the city of San Diego. I agree. Guy, last game I was with both my kids. Guy, what's up, Ben?
You got a selfie on the way. A couple selfies on the way out as we walked out.
I love when I get hit with the Ben. Bo laughed so hard. Did he just call you Ben? Yeah, he did. Just shut up. Great.
All right, Paulie's got some headlines. The Reindl Report, final hour of Ben and Woods on the way next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Got some tickets to give away coming up. Padres Rockies tomorrow night, the Joe Musgrove bobblehead giveaway. So be listening in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to do a Joe Musgrove-related trivia question.
Oh, boy. He's very excited.
I think you can get it. I don't know. I'll be curious to see whether you get this one right or not. But that's coming up. Your chance to win tickets to tomorrow's Padres Rockies game. First 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Joe Musgrove bobblehead. That is coming up.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we just get right to the Reindl Report?
Let's do
I know
it.
we got a lot from this weekend that we haven't gotten to yet.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right. Good morning, my friends.
Good morning.
Reindl Report brought to you by the Frozen Ropes Summer Baseball League. The Frozen Ropes is now registering ball players age 6 through 12. Go to San Diego FrozenRopes.com for more information. I don't know if this was on the air, off the air, but very briefly, we talked earlier about Paul Skeens making his debut. We teased that a lot on Friday.
Yeah.
Talked with Jordan from Cespedes Family Barbecue. Jake was out there.
Jake was there, yep.
I saw the rain was nasty
Gnarly.
before that game. They weren't sure if they were going to get it in, but they did. I tuned in. Man, watching Paul Skeens strike out his very first batter in his MLB debut was pretty electric. Kind of an up and down debut for him. He hit 100 miles per hour on 17 out of his 84 pitches, and the Pirates beat the Cubs 10-9 on Saturday. Box score here for Skeens in his debut: 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts.
Do you like the name of his signature pitch?
The Splinker.
The Splinker.
Did you see it?
It's amazing.
Good God, when he locates that thing,
it's a weird name.
Unreal.
You know, so the sweeper's the big thing right now, but I don't know if you've heard, Mud Grant refuses to call it a sweeper. He calls it a slurve.
Yeah, the slurve.
It's a slider-curve combination. They used to call it a slurve. Now they kind of call it a sweeper. More side-to-side break than up-and-down break necessarily. The Splinker is the combination between a splitter
and a sinker.
And a sinker.
Yes.
A Splinker.
Stupid, dude.
What's I just don't understand the difference. The splitter sinks. That's when you throw a good splitter. Like Mariano.
It falls off the table, but you can't throw a splitter 95 miles an hour. Paul Skeens
A sinker you can throw 95.
Correct.
So his is a splitter that he's throwing 95, so they know what to call it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So they call it a Splinker. What did Mariano Rivera throw?
Cutter.
I thought it was a splitter.
No, cutter.
He threw a cutter. I thought it was a splitter.
Just a cutter. No, just a cutter.
I thought it was just the split.
That's what he's known for.
Because his ball broke down.
No, his
down and in.
He
kinda.
did. He would go a right-hander. He would throw it at you. Start at your hip, and it would
down. Yeah,
but it was
to the right.
But it was hard. It was
hard
mid-90s,
down
whatever.
and to the right.
Sometimes he could throw a cutter anywhere he wanted to. But this Splinker is nasty. Now he's look. I watched the game. I was waiting to go into my shrink's office. She was running behind. I said, no problem. I'll sat in my car and watch Skeens throw. And I didn't get to the really weird part of the game where the Pittsburgh relievers came in and walked 6 guys in. 6
in the same inning. No team had walked in 6 batters all season. They did it in 1 inning.
Did you see Grandal?
It separated around a 2-hour rain delay as they continue to walk batters in.
Yasmani, at one point, he's the catcher for the Pirates, stands up. He goes, "What the F?" He just yells it out. Like, that is frustrating.
With who's the other great pitcher? Jones?
Jared Jones.
Jared Jones. So with those pitchers, you think Pirates could be dangerous, but then you look and see them walking 6 batters.
They didn't. Yeah, the bullpen did.
The bullpen did.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you see why there's some weaknesses there.
Well, they're not gonna throw Jones and Skeens for 110 pitches each game. So you're right. The bullpen is going to
be a factor. Now, I'm looking forward to when the Padres play the Pirates and Luis Arraez faces Paul Skeens.
Oh,
because then
be
you have
amazing.
the Sprinkler going against the Splinker.
The Splinker. It's nasty, dude. His fastball's dirty. I mean, look, it's not the Steven Strasburg line. You know, after that game, what did Strasburg strike out? 14? Struck out 7. It was fun to watch him pitch. I'll say that. It was.
He lived up to the hype.
He's pretty dynamic out there on the bump, dude.
Speaking of Strasburg, that's the comparison that everybody had all weekend, that debut from 2010. So, fun fact. When Steven Strasburg made his MLB debut 14 years ago, the Pirates' leadoff hitter in that game was Andrew McCutchen.
Correct.
When Paul Skeens made his debut on Saturday night, the Pirates' leadoff hitter, Andrew McCutchen.
Yep.
Except a much older Andrew
Much
McCutchen.
older.
Yes. All right. Moving on. Not really a headline-worthy story here, but maybe the best in-game promotion I've ever seen at a baseball game. This was up in Seattle at T-Mobile Park, you call it?
Yeah.
And it's still a Safeco Field to me, but T-Mobile Park, they had hot dogs raining down on the fans
with
little parachutes.
That seems like a mistake.
When you think that you have come up with a really good bit for the ballpark, whatever it may be, whatever your ballpark is, whether it's a sausage run or whatever it is, you're
the
like
Anchorman run.
Yeah, the Anchorman run. You're like, all right, this is really well done. The folks in Seattle are just like,
hold my hot dog.
Yeah, hold my hot dog. Look at this. Have you
So
seen
where
this?
were they coming from? I'm watching it now on our YouTube.
On drones.
Above, I get it. Drones?
Or not drones, parachutes.
I know, but something
Dropped by, I'm
somebody
assuming,
somebody
drone.
climbed up there. I don't know.
Well, yes, I want to know who was dropping them. Were they coming
It's,
from a plane in the sky? Where were they coming down
I think
from?
it was drones.
It says on the board, hot dogs from heaven. They were playing Belinda Carlisle, Heaven on Earth.
Heaven is a place on
Heaven
earth.
is
Yes.
a place on earth. And everyone's looking up, and there's just hot dogs
Parachutes.
raining down with little parachutes onto the crowd. It was unbelievable.
I still don't know where they're coming from, though. Now, I've seen them do hot dogs in the T-shirt can, and that can go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Because they get unwrapped, and all of a sudden you just have bits of, sausage
It says it
flying
right there. They're
everywhere.
from heaven.
From heaven.
Heaven.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Hot dogs dropped on parachutes, but I don't know from whence they came. I really don't know.
That's my question.
Are they up on the
Heaven, I guess. I don't know how they did that.
Adam says in the chat, drones were dropping them.
Yeah, maybe.
It's possible. Drones. You got to judge the wind and everything. Just
No,
make
you
sure.
don't. You just got to get them down there.
I mean, did some of them land on the field? What happened? I mean, what happens if they go off course?
That is
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Is it possible you could be just walking outside the ballpark and randomly a hot dog just drops
what
into
is
your
that?
lap?
It's raining hot dogs.
You know, like when I worked the Seals
What
game,
if you want condiments? Do they come down
I
too?
think you're screwed
They're
there.
just plain hot dogs from heaven.
Plain wieners.
Condiments for the wieners?
When I worked the Seals game, and you'll have a little bit of a lull sometimes, and when that T-shirt cannon comes out and those free shirts and the little rubber balls come out, you would think that they're throwing out $100 bills. I'm like, I've actually said in the mic before. I've said, "Hey, get on your feet and pretend we're throwing out T-shirts."
So where we sat on Friday night down the third base line was right where the ball girl
the ball
sits.
girl.
And every time there's a foul ball, 70 kids run right down, right past me, because I was sitting around in the aisle there, to see if she will hand them the ball. There's also a few adults who go and do it, and that is a bad look, guys. That is a bad look. If you're over the age of 14 or 15, don't be sprinting down for every foul ball to see if the lady is going to hand it to you into the stands. Catch one yourself, or let the kids go get the foul balls that are just handed to people.
It is one of those things where it's like, if you do it now at Petco, you've stolen the idea. But that's okay, because
What would we have? Like
burritos,
tacos?
churros.
Because there says burritos from heaven.
Churros from heaven would be incredible. Everybody
Cans
likes
of
churros.
$3.94.
Yeah, beers from heaven. Man,
I'm all in. I am all
too.
in.
I am too. Yeah, it's great.
All right, and then finally, with Mother's Day yesterday, happy belated Mother's Day to all of the moms in our Tier 1 audience. I did find a couple of lists going around. I know we love our lists here,
Yes,
but
we do.
I thought this was one we could actually kick around a little bit. We talked about the best moms over the weekend, but this list is the worst moms.
Worst mom list.
In TV or movie history.
Oh, I've got some ideas.
Now, they started with one that I think is already up for debate. Skylar White from Breaking Bad. Now, she was involved in some pretty sketchy business
down the road. She was taken
but
aback
I don't know
by...
that she was a bad mom.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think she
was put in a really bad
she really
position
was.
by
Walter
her husband.
put her in a really bad position. And in order to preserve your, I guess not innocence, but preserve your life beyond what he's already done, yeah, you had to probably help him out and make some moves, which she did. But I always thought she was a good mom. I thought she was a really good mom, and I thought she was a really good wife. Put up with a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This person doesn't have a name. Her name is Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mom from American Pie.
She was a great mom. Not for
for
him,
Stifler,
but for some of the other local neighborhood kids.
Young men.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stifler would probably say, yeah.
Stifler would probably not be a fan.
Stephanie Smith, that is the mom from 8 Mile, B Rabbit's mom.
Horrible.
Not a good mom.
You've never seen 8 Mile. He shakes his head. She's terrible.
Bad mom.
Bad mom. You can to 2 kids. To B Rabbit and the other, his little
girl.
sister. Yeah, terrible.
Kate McAllister.
Horrible.
Home Alone.
How you leave twice? And I understand that
She felt really bad about it.
Twice. She went through hell and back to get back and all that, but she did also banish Kevin to the attic. Like the night before. I've sent my kid to my room. I've never said, get in this box.
It's a lot of stress when you have family over for the holidays.
Yeah, it's true.
I do understand.
She left him twice, though. 2 times you left on vacation.
Once you understand. The second
No,
time
you
you
don't
were a bad
really.
mom, yeah.
Ginger from Casino.
Oh,
Ginger McKenna.
The worst. The worst. I just watched it over the weekend. It was on. The worst. She takes their daughter, Amy, with her boyfriend to somewhere, L.A., and they're doing blow in front of the daughter. And she looks at her daughter and says, never do this. And she rips one off of the mirror.
What about Angela Bauer from Who's the Boss?
She a bad mom?
Well, she was always working, left the kids with Tony, the housekeeper, all the time.
But he was a great...
He was a good housekeeper. She hired a good housekeeper.
I don't know
Tony.
if you know this. Some single parents have to work. She's great. She's a great mom.
She was very stressed all the time, though.
She was stressed.
High strung.
Yeah.
I think this one takes the cake for me. Gemma Teller from Sons of Anarchy.
It's not even close. It's terrible.
I mean, the absolute worst. Right?
Yeah.
What was the show set in Oceanside with the kind of a similar crime family? She was gnarly too.
Oceanside.
Yeah. It was like an FX show recently.
I have no idea what you're doing.
Someone in the chat's going to know this one.
I'm looking in the chat right now. People are adding theirs. Carmela Soprano.
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. I never saw it.
Yeah.
Was Carmela a bad mom?
Yeah.
I have a hard time reconciling that one. She had to put up with a lot. He's no prize, Tony. Right? I think she did good. Remember she almost threatened to kill that lady if she didn't write her a letter of recommendation to Georgetown? I think that's pretty cool. Made her that pie. You will write this letter. You will write this letter. I think that's good. She did whatever she had to do. Thank you, Paulie. Appreciate you.
The mom from Waterboy.
She was conniving. Adam says she was conniving as Tony. She was pretty conniving. That's true. That's true. Sometimes you have to do. Sometimes you have to do that, though. You have to be conniving.
All right, we've got some Padres tickets to give away. I've got a Joe Musgrove trivia question that I'm curious to know whether Woods is going to get it correct when we come back. I hear the music. I don't see the hot dogs raining down.
I'm just trying to put it out there in the universe.
Now I'm hungry, and I have
Just want
no
little hot dogs
from heaven
parachutes
at
coming
the
down.
moment. We'll be right back after this. Check traffic on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I just had a Reindl Report. Didn't discuss the NBA playoffs. Didn't discuss local soccer, the Wave. Didn't discuss golf. I need you to pick at least one of those this segment so I can just get some sports off my chest after 3 hours and 22 minutes.
Go ahead.
I've got some sports. You pick. I won't do all of them.
Oh, would you say golf?
Golf, basketball, soccer. Those are like the three that I haven't gotten to yet. So you think about that while I throw out the trivia question for the Padres tickets.
Okay.
If you want to try to win, we've got 833-288-0973. You can call now. Winner's going to get a pair of tickets for tomorrow's Padres-Rockies game. First 40,000 fans will receive a Joe Musgrove bobblehead. Get your tickets now at Padres.com/tickets, or you can win them, but you need to answer my Joe Musgrove trivia question. So here it is. Paulie knows the answer. Woods doesn't. In Joe Musgrove's no-hitter, who made the final out for the Texas Rangers of that game?
God, I thought you were going to say, all right.
Who made the final out of that game for the Texas Rangers?
I was going to Hassan Kim to
I'm
Jurickson
going to give you
the final
I'm going to give you a clue
first.
too. He now plays for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Who made the final?
Who made the final? Who was the batter? Who made the final out? You remember it was that ground ball to short, right?
I do remember.
To second.
Short.
Short.
Kim to Profar.
But who was the batter that made
a-
the final out of the Joe Musgrove no-hitter?
Plays for the Rangers.
You did play for the Rangers. Now he plays for the Blue Jays.
Plays for the Blue Jays.
Yeah. 833-288-0973.
Do we want to take these on the air or off the air?
Take them on the air.
All right, we'll take him on the air. All right, let's go. Caller number one. Let's go.
All right, who's this?
Who's this? You're on the air.
Jacob Stewart.
All right,
Jacob
Jacob.
Stewart.
Who made the final out for the Rangers in Joe Musgrove's no-hitter?
IKF.
Ah, he's right.
Yes.
What did he say?
IKF. Isaiah.
Oh, I thought he said I can't.
Kiner Falefa. No, I can't be
IKF.
wrong, but IKF is correct. Great
Boom.
job, Jacob. You win.
Excellent.
Took one
work.
caller. We get the answer correct right off the bat, so you win the tickets to the Padres-Rockies game. Hang on the line. Paulie will get your information and get you to the game. Nice job. He had to pull that one out, too.
I thought he said I can't. I
can't.
thought he bricked
No,
on it.
IKF.
Yeah, I thought he bricked on the whole thing. All right, go ahead and give me some NBA, Ben. I'd like you to catch me up where the NBA is.
So the big stunner from the NBA weekend looked like the Denver Nuggets, the reigning champions, were dead. Down and out. They lost the first two games at home to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're done. They come back in Minneapolis and win games 3 on Friday and 4 yesterday on the road.
Series tied at 2.
And now they have tied the series back up and heading back to Denver for a game 5. So the idea of back-to-back, a repeat, is once again very much in play for the Denver Nuggets after it looked like they just didn't quite have it this year and maybe it wasn't going to be enough. Jokic and Murray not 100% healthy. Now they look like, okay, how are you going to beat them 2 out of 3 in this series going forward when they have 2 games at home and they are now playing well again? So that kind of changes the entire complexion to me of the postseason. Same thing with the so the road team has won every game in that series. The home team has won every game between the Knicks and the Pacers.
Yep.
Pacers won easily. Huge win yesterday,
Like
121
30 points, yeah.
121-89, 32 points. So they've tied the series up at 2. Still, the Knicks have held serve at Madison Square Garden, and they go back for Game 5. The other 2 series are 2-1. Celtics over the Cavs. They've got Game 4 tonight in Cleveland. The big question there, I saw Donovan Mitchell is questionable, which if he can't go, I mean, the Celtics already were big favorites in that series. They dropped the one at home, but they bounced back with a big game to win on Saturday to take the 2-1 series lead. If Mitchell's out, Celtics win tonight, I think it's pretty much over. And then the Mavs are up 2-1 on the Thunder. I thought the Thunder were the team to beat the number 1 seed, but the Mavs can take a 3-1 lead at home tonight with Doncic and Irving has been playing pretty well in the series. So big one tonight for the Thunder as they try to even it and get back to home. So the semifinal series have been pretty interesting in the NBA playoffs. And you saw maybe over the weekend, Frank Vogel was fired by the Suns.
Yep, and they already hired
Mike Budenholzer. Already been
Yep.
replaced. The former Milwaukee Bucks coach is going to take over in Phoenix.
They say it's not a series until somebody wins on the road.
What happens if every road wins?
Yeah. It's not a series until somebody finally wins at home.
And maybe the Nuggets will finally do that on Tuesday. So
Joey just said in the chat died the moment basketball Ben pops out. Yeah, it'll happen.
It does.
It'll happen from time to time. Yeah, there he is.
That's why I waited 3 hours and 25 minutes
Yeah, makes sense.
talk a little basketball.
Joey
then.
wants more Dodger hate. No problem. We can deliver that to you as well.
I also did feel bad for Xander Schauffele not getting it done yesterday.
Did he not get it done, or did
Rory
just
really
get
took
done?
it from him? It's like Rory's favorite course in the world. He plays so well there. Xander didn't do anything wrong other than he didn't make putts.
Another second-place finish for Xander.
So Xander gets second again. He literally did not, I think 12 feet 2 inches was the longest putt he made all week. He was there. He had tons of chances and just couldn't make anything. Rory had the flat stick going, shot a 65 yesterday to steal it away from Xander, who has still gone almost 2 years without winning on the PGA Tour, even though he's the number 4 ranked golfer in the world. But now Rory's pretty hot going into the PGA Championship this week, which Scotty Scheffler didn't play this week. So Scotty won his last start, Rory won his last start, and Brooks Koepka won his last start on the LIV Tour. All 3 of them going to be together this week for the second golf major of the year, the PGA Championship at Valhalla, which makes for a pretty interesting tournament this week in major number 2.
That's this weekend.
That's this week, yeah. Thursday through Sunday, second major of the golf season coming up this week.
Okay, very good.
All right, that is it for, we got our Padres tickets given away. All right, we got one segment left to go. We'll get you ready for the Padres Rockies series. Again, can't take these Rockies lightly. They found something, at least the last couple of days, playing some better baseball. We'll get to look ahead coming up next with Benno Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Don't forget to tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. for 97.3 The Fans commercial-free Padres Roundtable featuring Ben and Woods, Annie and Elston, and Gwen and Chris, presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. For takeout or delivery, go to roundtablepizza.com. Roundtable, the last honest pizza. Should I not refer to myself in the third person when I do that?
Would you do it again?
Featuring Ben and Woods,
Oh,
Annie
yeah.
and Elston, and Gwen and Chris.
No, that's fine.
You say featuring me and Woods, Annie and Elston,
No,
and
Ben
Gwen
and Woods
Chris.
is the name of our show.
That's what I think so,
Yeah.
too. So just leave it at that. So we'll talk to you on Thursday.
You haven't reached that level of diva.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're there. You're close, but you're not that. Ben does not like when you do this. Ben is very sad when you do this. Make this move.
Go Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, full on. Yeah, Benny got 15 year. I got 10 year. Man, Benny got 15 year. Yeah, don't do that. That's when I'll know I've lost you entirely.
Safe on that one. Then.
Safe.
Okay.
Yeah, you're safe. It's Ben and Woods. It's the name of the show.
I think the Padres, I don't know if the players will feel this way, but there will definitely be an atmospheric letdown at Petco Park the next 3 days.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, it won't have, it's not the weekend.
It doesn't have the same juice.
You won't have the Dodgers fans marching down Fifth Avenue on their way to the game, just riling everybody up.
Very
and
cool, by the way.
Everybody in their feelings. You don't have the superstar players coming in like Glasnow and Ohtani and Betts and Freeman the way that the Dodgers do, to just kind of amps everything up for a series like this weekend. The Rockies are the opposite of that. Rockies come in bereft of stars. Their biggest star player is still probably Charlie Blackmon, who's had a 0.0 WAR this season. The guys who are performing a little bit better for them, like Ryan McMahon and Brenton Doyle, are not.
Local kid Sean Bouchard's playing really well for them as well.
Household names. Oh, yeah, Sean Bouchard is. He has a negative 0.1 WAR.
He's been hot lately.
He's been hot lately, though. They've won 4 straight games, including a sweep of the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers. So you certainly can't take them lightly.
No,
even though they're 3-16 on the road this year. It's just one of those.
It's a trap.
Yeah, there you go. Admiral Akbar says this series is a potential trap for the San Diego Padres.
Can't happen, man. Just cannot happen.
You want to find a way to make these games
laughers.
Well, just as much. You have to treat them like you're playing the Dodgers.
I need 3 laughers is what I need for my mental health. I think we all do.
I loved how the Padres treated the games. They were important, but it wasn't like circle the calendar over the weekend.
Yeah, for sure, bro. They ran out against James Paxton. They ran out an all right-handed lineup. It had Kyle Higashioka in it. It had Azokar in it. You know, listen.
I mean, if it was a playoff game, you would not see that lineup.
Of course.
But it was not a playoff game. It's just another regular season game.
They did not change really anything. I mean, and I saw a Dodger fan yesterday saying, "Oh man, using your closer in a non-safe situation." I thought to myself, you clearly haven't watched Padres baseball. Like, of course you're going to go to Robert Suarez for those last 3 outs. It's not even a question.
There was never even a thought of
It
doing
wasn't
something
even
different.
a thought. And Mike Schilt's not in the business of collecting saves for Robert Suarez. Trust me. He'd like to get his guys saves, but he doesn't give a rat's ass about that at the end of the day. You want to win that game and win that series, and you don't want one bit of drama. Had he gone to Yuki Matsui or somebody in the 9th, I would have lost my mind. I think we all would have. You have the most reliable closer in baseball. Great. It's not a save situation because it's 4-0. Who cares? Who cares? Like, get those last 3 outs.
I think it's fine. Now, does it put his availability into question?
Not really. Not if it's a 3-out save.
Not tonight, but if there was 2 in a row, at some point, you're going to have to make the decision when he needs a day off.
Hence the laughers.
That's why. That's why you need a win, at least one win by 5 or 6 runs, where you're not having to use the back end of your bullpen and give Robert Suarez a day off.
And I'll tell you, like this is where if Xander's going to continue. He's had a good end of the game yesterday. Did not have a good series up until that point. If Manny is going to continue, this is where we need those guys to lead us through. Yes, we need them again. We needed them against the Dodgers. They didn't really deliver until Xander's last 2 ABs yesterday. But this is really when you need your stars to say, "Don't sweat it. We've got this." Like, we're going to take care of business against the Colorado Rockies, man. You got to have your Tatis, Manny, Xander.
What is Tatis having a good season or not?
He is.
He is.
Yeah, he's having a good season. He's having a good season.
He had a good season last year.
Yeah.
We felt like
I'm not
it wasn't
worried
quite
about
good
I'm really
enough.
not worried about Tatis. I really am not overly
You know,
concerned.
over the last week, I've watched some of his at-bats, and I go, he's a little out of sync. He's not quite himself. But then I also looked at the numbers and go, he's hitting like 320 over the last 10 games or something, and not a lot of extra base hits, but he had the huge home run yesterday. Is he locked in? Is he not locked in? He's just not quite.
Put it this way, I'm not worried about Fernando.
I'm not
worried about him, but
concerned.
We haven't seen Fernando Tatis Jr. at his full capabilities, I think, yet this year. We certainly haven't seen Manny at his full capabilities, and we definitely haven't seen Xander at his full capabilities. That's 3 players. Not one of them has really gone through an epically hot stretch. Manny had a hot-ish week. You know, Tatis has kind of flirted with being hot a few times this year. He has what, seven homers now? 7 or 8?
He's at 8
yesterday.
home runs, yeah.
I mean, he's flirted with being hot.
He's batting 257, OBP 335, slugging 449, OPS is 784. You'd love to see him get that OPS over 8. You'd love to see Manny, get that over 8. You'd love to see Xander get his over 6. At this point.
I mean, you can argue that none of those guys are having a good season until their OPS is at least over 800.
Yeah.
They're not there yet.
They're kind of all hovering around it. But Tatis, out of those 3, is the one I'm probably the least concerned about. I know Manny is going to be able to produce with the glove, which is huge. It's not like defense does not matter. It absolutely does. And we know how much Mike Schilt prioritizes defense. When Manny Machado is playing third base, you feel great anytime a ball is hit in his general direction. So he's helping you there, certainly. But, yeah, man, this is that series where if you're going to get it going, this is the guy to do it against tonight in Dakota Hudson. So, I mean, we need that. Manny just, for him, I mean, he's my favorite baseball player. So, I watch what he does with the glove. The arm looks fine. I don't know if he feels good when he swings. I have no idea. He just looks a tick off. The bunt yesterday was really, really concerning to me. The squaring to bunt in his first at bat. I get it. You want to bring Muncy in. Hey, let me get him in, see if I can rip one by him. I understand all that. But then to actually drop one down pop out was not great in my opinion. And I think Manny needs to start swinging the stick a little bit better than he's capable, or like he's capable of doing. It's been a tough watch right now. He's flailing at the first pitch a lot, which he does, first ball hitter. But just put together an AB, man. You're one of the best hitters out there. You just got to start playing like it. That's it.
Now, from a Rockies perspective, you're looking at tonight's game and going, we kind of got to get to Randy Vasquez because Dylan Cease is waiting in Game 2 tomorrow. Michael King is waiting on Wednesday, coming off what he did on Friday against the Dodgers. You're not loving either matchup there. So, Rockies have won 4 in a row. They're going to go, let's come out firing and win this first game of the series. Take it to Randy Vasquez early. Vasquez looked pretty good his last time out. Let's see. Last start was 4 1/3 innings, 1 run. Now, Padres did lose that game to the Cubs 3-2. He's also gone 5 innings, 1 run against Toronto. And he did face Colorado on the 25th. That was the game that Padres lost when Dakota Hudson pitched 2 2/3, 4 earned runs. So he'll need to do better than that against the Rockies.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm excited to see what the offense can do the next few nights. And again, with the Rockies, you got to play good defense. Stay playing really good defense. Base running is continuing to be a little bit entertaining for this team, and I know they're going to try to get that figured out. But yeah, man, a really encouraging day yesterday for Jackson Merrill. Did not really hit well at home. Looked pretty locked in yesterday.
I'm not. I know Jurickson Profar, it always looks bad when you get caught stealing the second before a guy hits a home run. It's like, well, you just threw away, you just lit a run on fire, and that you didn't have to do. I understand being aggressive. Xander Bogaerts has not been hitting for extra bases. You want to get yourself in scoring position. If Xander does, bloop one in, he's gotten some singles lately. You can score from second base. I understood the aggressiveness of Jurickson Profar. Sure. It was a close play at second base. He was out, but it was.
I don't really mind.
I didn't mind that.
I don't really mind being aggressive on the base paths. Just don't get picked off.
It just looks really bad when
look bad.
the guy after hits a home run.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, we got one more check of traffic here. Get you ready for Annie and Elston coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Seems most of our problems are in the North County, eastbound 78. A solo vehicle accident at Los Posts. It's blocking the right lane. Also traveling on southbound 15 before Mira Mesa Boulevard. There is a collision. A couple semis involved. It's over the right shoulder. South 5 coastline, right before the 805 split. We have reports of a stalled vehicle in middle lanes. Looks like it could be a possible vehicle fire. That's southbound 5 right before the split. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
See Ollie Marmol get run yesterday for the St. Louis Cardinals.
One of the better ejections you will see.
Now, they were frustrated. The Cardinals had lost 7 in a row going into that game, I think. And they got frustrated early in the game because they needed to use both of their replay reviews on fairly obvious plays, one on offense, one on defense, on just play. I think it was just calls at first base that they got wrong. And he decided, I'm just going to go and just vent all of my frustrations on the umpire in the hopes of firing my team up. He even admitted after the game, I was really out there. The umpires, those are good umps. They do a good job. I was out there to try to fire my team up and to get ejected. He did. Bench coach did. And it worked. They were down 3-1 at the time. Cardinals.
And done. it's
but he genuinely, he didn't look like he was acting. He looked hot.
He was very, very hot.
He looked very hot.
Did you guys see yesterday? You ever see a guy break a bat before, like during the swing? Matt Carpenter came up, swung at a pitch, did not touch the pitch. The bat broke. The old Matt Carpenter wet noodle. He goes to swing at the pitch. The head of the bat goes flying. The handle is in his hand.
So it was already broken before he went up to home plate.
Must have been broken. He just swung and it just fired. I have never seen it in all my years at any level ever. He goes to swing and it just flies away, never even touched the pitch. Now, I don't know if he
still was holding the handle.
He was holding the handle. I don't know if the pitch before had come in and he might have snapped it up there.
I did not see
oh
that.
my Lord. Yeah, Drew says it's like a golf equipment. I've stepped up to the tee box and swung and the head goes.
But usually when you at least make contact with the ball, that's when it comes off. Not just on a swing and a miss, it actually snapped.
Oh my God, dude. I couldn't believe it. And I tell you, you talk about flashbacks. I got those flashbacks of Matt Carpenter swinging that wet Union Tribune up there every single day, just soaking wet. Just.
It does remind me. I can't imagine that the reason the bat broke is because Matt Carpenter has the best bat speed out there, especially at his age now. But they did release this weekend some new troves of data.
Oh, this was
regarding
great.
Bat speed of Major League Baseball players, and there were a couple of interesting things that involved San Diego Padres. First of all, the guy who swings the hardest in Major League Baseball, on average, not going to surprise you, Giancarlo Stanton of the Yankees. No one swings hard. He averages more than 80 miles an hour. Even like Shohei Ohtani only averages about 76. Giancarlo's quite a bit above.
That's his average.
He almost never shortens up and slows down his swing. He just swings as hard as he can almost every single time. The slowest average bat speed in all of baseball belongs to Luis Arraez. Doesn't swing hard. Averages closer to like 60 miles an hour. Just pokes at it. Tries to make contact.
It's the bat-to-ball skills right there.
Interestingly, some of the slowest bat speeds in baseball are some of the more effective hitters. Stephen Kwan is the second slowest. He's almost as good of a hitter and good as getting on base as Arraez. Justin Turner is like one of the slowest bat speeds in baseball, but he's still performing. All of the guys with the slowest bat speeds have OPS pluses of over 100. They're above average offensive players, despite the fact that, you're not getting a ton of power because you're not swinging very hard. So I thought that data was very interesting. And Mike Petriello also pointed out one more thing that was very curious. They looked at it from the pitcher's perspective. Which pitchers do batters swing the slowest against? And the pitcher who gets the slowest swings, like the worst, slowest swings against them all season.
This is awesome.
Is Robert Suarez, where opposing teams are only swinging an average of like 64, 65 miles an hour against him, I think it was.
It's that thing of like...
It's coming in so fast, they're just trying to... trying to shorten up and try to hit it, but when they do, guess what happens? It doesn't go very far. He gives up a lot of fly balls, just middle outfield fly balls, because guys aren't putting their big swing on it. Only 10% of swings this season against Robert Suarez are considered like powerful swings, like full power swings.
Well, what do they always say? What did your dad used to yell at you from?
He's throwing hard. Let him provide all the power.
The faster it comes in, the further it goes. Dad, shut up. You see this shed this guy's throwing right now?
But that is a bit of a fallacy. In golf, they also thought for a long time, swing easier, the ball goes further. You know what makes the ball go further in golf? Swinging harder.
Swinging hard.
Clubhead speed. It's physics. The only thing that makes the ball go further off the bat or off the clubhead is clubhead. It's speed or bat speed.
Yes.
If you want to hit it hard, you got to swing hard. Now, you're not going to see Luis Ariz get many home runs swinging at 60 miles an hour. You're just not. But he can control it.
The other thing it does is you think about maybe some of the overthinking in baseball in the last 5 years or so about closers coming in with one pitch. And his pitch, of course, being the four-seam fastball, that he just says, here it is. Hit it.
I dare you.
You don't want to really speed up somebody's bat at all. You don't. And the fact that these guys are going up there trying to shorten up, that's a good thing inherently. If you've got 100, 98, 99 in the tank, and you can locate it like Bobby fastballs can, just throw the thing. You don't need to. And we've been sitting here saying, man, somebody's going to time it out. Somebody's going to catch him for one. Not if they're going up trying to shorten up and put it in play. They're not going to beat you, man. It's just, you've got a really good pitch, a plus pitch, just throw it.
And that's the thing with Suarez. Yes, he throws very hard, and it's helpful, but he also has really good control, or he has this season. And that's actually even more important. You'd rather throw a couple of miles an hour slower if you can get the kind of control that he has. He's got up in the zone.
Down.
He's got down.
In.
He's got in, and he's got out. And that's why Suarez is just not hit hard. Plus the fact that no one's swinging it hard against him.
It's very tough, I would imagine, to know he's going to throw a four-seamer. Could be up in the zone, could be down the zone. And to think to myself, I can't change I just need to go put my A
if
swing on
I see those numbers, though, I'm opposing manager and Suarez is coming in, I'm telling my guys, just close your eyes and swing as hard as you can. You know what? You probably will strike out, but if you connect, at least it will go a long way. None of these 60-mile-an-hour pop swings, though, against this guy.
You're trying to
You're
make
playing into his game by doing that.
Exactly right.
You're playing into his game.
It's a lot of overthinking in the game sometimes, man. It really simplifies when a guy like Robert Suarez comes out and says, I'm just going to throw my heater. Like, I'm going to locate it, I'm going to throw it, and good luck.
If you like those kind of numbers, you'll love Annie and Elston. They're coming up next. They always break it down by the numbers really well. I enjoy their 12 o'clock roundup segment where they talk about everything that happened, like the Wave. We didn't even get to the Wave game yesterday, 1-1 draw against Gotham FC. They'll have all the update. USD clinching a WCC baseball title. They'll have that news for you coming up in the next 4 hours. Don't go anywhere. That's it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for executive producer, imaging director Paul Reindl. For Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Monday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.